welcome to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Mark. He's joined by
Charles.
And today we're bringing you the 67th episode of the show.
Man, wow.
We're rolling right along. Last night we watched the bare knuckle fighting. Got a little recap for you on that.
Yeah.
Some movies, some retro movie that wasn't as terrible as usual.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll go over some of the football action for the week. And we're going to start off with a little bit of a taste test / honor to someone we used to know. But before
you'd
that,
never had this, right?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
You apparently have.
I did. Yeah.
When did you have it?
On the beer journey, I definitely tried it during
okay.
that time. It's been out for a while. I know. So what we're discussing is Bud Light Platinum.
And they're really promoting it lately. With
they're
Bud
pimping
Light
it.
Platinum Night and everything else.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, actually,
Still, Bud
I know
Light,
you're there.
it's really funny.
Yeah.
The big thing about the Platinum is it's got higher alcohol content.
Oh, okay.
So it's 6%. And of course, Steve brought me a pint. Cause,
we gotta have a man size.
Yeah, I guess so. So I'm gonna be a little tipsy by the end of the podcast. I
drove Holly's car, so if I wreck it, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's true. Just hand the keys back to him like, you had a car, so sorry for your loss.
It fits in this baggie now.
So I don't know if these are twisties. Oh, they're twisties.
Oh,
so I'll
twisties.
hand that
There
off
you
to
go.
Steve here. They're all cold. Steve brought them.
Yeah, right. These are straight from Sunnyside Market on Van Board Road. In Beacon
Yeah.
Heights.
So this
That place has been there forever, and they got the worst parking available. I hate their parking lot at Sunnyside Market.
it's been there a long time.
it's
Dad
so
used to go
small.
all the time when
Yeah.
we were on Detroit Street. Way back
You got
in
an
the day.
F-150 trying to squeeze in that little parking lot they got there.
Does it still have that weird like entrance where it's like weirdly like cinder blocked off and you walk down that hallway and all that stuff?
No, they redesigned it a little bit.
Okay.
But then, like, they have two doors that open up, but one door can't open up because there's a parking block right in front of it.
Wow.
So one door always stays closed and the other door can open. So it's not the smartest
Stellar
design.
job architecting that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Whoever
so-
made Sunnyside in the 1930s.
But the reason why we're going to drink this, too, is our buddy that's been dead, how many years now?
Yeah.
Joe, 4 or 5 years?
April 15th, 2014.
Yeah, 5 years now.
Yeah.
Joe was a
sits up
diehard Bud Light fan, loved Bud Light. And he drinks pretty much, that's all he drank, really. I mean,
Yeah.
he drank a Coke from McDonald's drive-thru
Yeah.
and Bud Light.
Well,
That's it, all day long.
I would argue that what you just described is more American than most people. Like, I would say that that's about as American as you can get. And full disclosure, I think Bud Light Platinum tastes good. I've had
Yeah,
it before.
I mean-
It's delicious. I mean, I think that
Not bad. I liked it.
Bud Light is the most drinkable beer. Like
Yeah.
they specifically want you to pound a case of that mug. They're
Well,
like,
diehards will tell you, drinking piss water and everything else.
dude, I don't know. If you're looking to get alcohol in the old bloodstream, you do. But you can't go wrong with some Bud Light. is all
Bud
I'm
Light,
saying.
I like Coors Light.
I think it tastes good. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
now
we're not the snobs that other people are, so
Well,
we
and-
put that full disclosure out.
on the beer journey, I've told you before, I think that Boston Lager by Sam Adams is my favorite beer. I find it delicious. It's what, when you think of, like, to me, what an American beer is, like a Sam Adams is exactly right. But this Bud Light is totally delicious, totally drinkable. I wouldn't scoff at anyone drinking a Bud Light. You know what I mean? But
Here's the weird thing for me. If I'm just drinking like a beer with, like if I go to a bar with a buddy and I'm just drinking a beer, I'll probably drink on tap Coors Light. Usually.
Well, there's a lot of people that have the preferences of that on tap stuff too.
I always liked on tap better than the bottle. I don't know why. Maybe it's my days of drinking big gulps. I always felt on tap was closer to that.
But
if I want to get shit faced and drink a ton, I'm getting pictures of Bud Light. I'm just pounding.
Dirt
them.
cheap.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
always
it's
cheap.
American beer.
Bring me 3
dude.
pictures of Bud Light.
Yeah.
But
the thing about the on tap stuff, why I've always hated it, working where I've worked and maintaining equipment.
I try not to think about that.
Beer lines are disgusting. They grow some funk that you ain't never seen.
You know
in your
they
life,
never get
dude.
clean.
Dude, and that's what's really
It's
gross.
probably the same way with pop machines at this point too, and everything else.
I can keep going on and on. You don't want to know, but like,
If you think about it, you'll never eat or drink anywhere outside
and that's
of
what
your
it
house.
boils down. Like, I'm one of those people. So back to the green tech stuff and green snob, I don't use straws anywhere. So like a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy because I'll put lip to cup. And that's like unheard of too, because if you talk about the filth of whatever, the edge of a cup is really pretty gross. But I don't give a shit. I just kind of turn my brain off for it.
What are you
But
talking about? Like at a restaurant? Because fast food is just a plastic cup with a little.
but think about it though. So
Most
how
of them are just
so-
jammed in that sleeve.
and how do you jam it in there?
with your hands usually.
And then you're being Steve
Hopefully they didn't wash. I like a little shit with my.
yeah, well, and that's what, if you start like. If you go down the whole thing of like worried about the cleanliness of all
Oh
your
yeah,
stuff,
then you're gonna be like that dude. who's the aviator they made fun of? The
Howard Hughes?
Yeah, you can be Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
Just lock yourself in a house somewhere.
Pissing in jars and all in your movie
Never
theater.
leave the house.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I tell you what, I give a huge thumbs up to Bud Light Platinum. I think it's delicious.
It's good.
Yeah.
I can drink about 20 of these, and I'd be fucking laying on the ground, not doing moving for a
Yeah,
while.
well, I'm gonna be laying on the ground after this big boy because I am a complete
Such
wuss.
lightweights.
So you found next week's podcast. You got a great idea.
At Sunnyside Market, they have a whole bunch of moonshines on their counter. That I
Like
didn't
what
see.
kind? Like what? Anything
There's a
rogue besides the one you talked
no,
about?
The one there's a peach, a strawberry, nothing.
Is it kind of like the
exotic.
one that Scott from the Float
Yeah,
Institute
it looks.
brought us?
It looks like that. But the one they have,
How much are we talking? Like a little container?
they didn't have a price on. I'm guessing $10. I don't
Okay,
know. They
nothing
were-
that crazy.
I didn't see a price on them.
probably
Now they had
selling
little mini ones, but the one I want didn't have the mini one.
Ah.
So the one we're gonna try next week is pickle moonshine.
That's
It
gonna be
literally
so
had
gross.
pickles floating in the
There's
jar,
like a gherkins just bouncing around in there.
full ones, like a whole
Oh,
jar of them. It's gonna be
Jesus Christ.
so gross.
It's gonna be so nasty.
Alcoholic pickle juice.
Yeah, we totally got to do it though. It's
Yeah,
gotta,
I have to pick that up. I have to
Yeah.
stop maybe today or something. Or tomorrow and
yeah,
pick
that's
it up.
pretty good.
So
That's gonna be gross, but yeah, all right.
I missed it because on the way out I saw it. And I didn't see it until on the way out. So, but next week, pickle moonshine. We'll let everyone know how it goes.
And
So,
R.I.P. Joe. Bud
R.I.P.
Light,
Joe. Bud Light. He would
love.
love this. He'd probably be drinking it. Even, I don't know though. He was strictly because he didn't drink Bud Ice. He didn't drink regular Budweiser. He was just Bud Light. That was it, right? Every time. I don't
Yeah, I don't know.
rarely saw him drink anything outside of that.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but
So-
the thumbs up to Bud Light stuff. I think it's tough.
I know we're mainstream and the douches, and we're supposed to like some
Well, I've had-
Dave's quirky ale made in a garage somewhere.
What I find, and I'm sure Wiggs would argue me up and down, so many of the craft beers are over hopped. And what I mean by they taste vegetable-y. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I'm not into that. Like Sam Adams kind of is that fine line of like got some hop taste to it, but it's still very drinkable.
Mm-hmm.
When you start getting super hoppy, like an IPA just turns my stomach. Like you talk about zucchini we just ate earlier. I can't do those IPAs. People love them. And I'm like, dude, what am I missing here? I can't do this.
So there you go. It's a little Bud Light Platinum that they're advertising the hell out of it. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie. If you like Bud Light or Budweiser products, I mean, if you're a hardcore craft guy, you're probably
What'd
not
you
gonna
pay
like
for
it.
this Boomba?
It was $5 for the two of them.
Oh, ain't bad.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get hammered,
Your
it's
local
awesome.
liquor store always has giant bottles for cheap.
Yeah.
So. It's funny how cheap some of that stuff is, you know. And yet I had to pay like $50-something for
You
my gas
really could have
tank.
got cheap and got some natty ice.
Oh yeah, we could have a Dave Light taste
Yeah,
test or a
dude.
Dave Markey.
You know what's
taste
a
test
cheap beer that I actually like the taste of too is Foster's. Foster's tastes pretty
special. Is
good.
it really cheap? I didn't think it was.
It's
that
not
cheap.
that bad. You get a big old can for
Oh,
like $2
okay.
or whatever.
I like Dad's old crap ones. I'll drink a Milwaukee's Best. I'll
Yeah,
drink
I don't mind it either.
Natty Ice is okay. Stroh's is all right.
But
That's
everything you're
our
describing has like
grandfather's.
no hop taste to it at
Yeah,
all.
it's all kind of variations of Bud Light to me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the only time when you get in that real dark, chewy beers, I don't, the beers we got chew them.
Did you try the Stroh's when it came back? I definitely tried the Stroh's relaunch. That was
I've had
pretty good.
I
Yeah.
forget where I was. I was at a bar. I had that. I was like, "You got Stroh's? This one goes out the Papa."
Yeah.
Our grandfather was pretty much made of Stroh's for 40-something years, and now he can't drink it anymore. So there you go. Now there are some congratulations I want to give out again this week.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
You always are full of congratulations.
I like to
All
congratulate.
right, so
people.
who bought a snake this week?
No one bought a snake. I'm going to congratulate Annapolis High School football team.
Oh yeah,
For winning their homecoming 24-8 over Romulus. Charles and I never got to experience that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the feeling.
So they did get to win a game.
Wow.
And my daughter went to her first homecoming. Not impressed. She was like, yeah. But she didn't have a date.
So
or
wait,
anything.
it's
They
sophomore year was her first
yeah,
year
sophomore,
she went?
yeah.
Okay.
It was just her and, and about 5 friends. They all
Okay.
went. That's a new thing. That wasn't a thing back when
No, you always took a date. I don't
yeah.
know.
This
You took a special lady friend.
yeah. Now, later in life, kids decided, hey, let's just all go as friends. That
It's
makes
probably a
sense.
little better, a little
Yeah.
less pressure to
But
it.
it's a typical young girl, young kid dance where everyone just kind of stands there.
Well, what I'm
doesn't
shocked
dance.
by is you told me they don't even go for like a nice dinner or nothing like that. Like we went out as
They
big
go
groups to
now,
a
they
dinner.
go afterwards now.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what happened. They all went to Applebee's afterwards.
Oh, okay.
I thought you went before.
Imagine you're that poor server working at Applebee's.
10
There
o'clock
comes
at night and all these
20
teenage kids come walking.
annoying homecoming kids just walking in. You're like,
she didn't get home to almost 12:30. So
giving you the shittiest tips possible.
After I got done puking here and went home, I got home about
Yeah.
midnight. She was another half hour after I got home.
Wow.
And
How did she get home?
one of her friends' dads dropped her off.
Oh, okay.
So that was nice of him. Fatima's dad dropped her off.
Yeah.
It was like I said, it was about 5 of them. All the girls had it. I mean, she had a good time. It just wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait for another homecoming type deal with her. If you think back,
homecomings were huge in our lives, but it was the beginning of that dating scene.
yeah.
In your
And
life.
I didn't really go to homecoming to my senior year. I skipped the other 3.
I went junior year and then senior year. I didn't go my sophomore year.
Ironically enough, I ended up at like 4 proms, but I did. I only went to 1 homecoming, so that is kind of funny.
Well, me and Heather were dating at that point.
Yeah, so you went to your own, then hers, and then So
then I went junior year with Amy from McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so there you go, a little look. And there's one more congratulations.
Oh,
Someone
geez.
has a new member of their family.
Okay.
Krista, our cousin, Krista Wasman.
She's pregnant?
She got a different last name. No, not quite. She got a new puppy, a Shih Tzu.
Oh, geez.
Little light brown Shih Tzu, a Benji, little boy.
Okay.
She's been posting little videos of the dog running around, very hyper fun. Shih Tzus and puppies are some of the cutest dogs you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think your dogs now that you have are cool little dogs.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
not
I don't
bad
know.
little dogs.
Shih
Actually.
Tzus last, man. Shih Tzus,
Yeah.
if you get a decent one that's bred well, unlike Daisy, it'll last like 20 years.
Well, she's 12 years of kicking. So
again, we're talking about Joe. His mom, Lori, had those dogs for like 20 years, man. Those Shih Tzus
and
last.
Bert's mom's dog, Pogo, was a Shih Tzu. I didn't
It's
realize.
crazy,
18 when
man.
that one died. So,
you get it way deep. But if you want a dog for some serious longevity, look at the Shih Tzu breed.
yeah,
I say that now, and they all like die at 9.
yeah. And Krista had one that died because it got in a rat poisoning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit of an extreme.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, if you can maintain and take care of a dog, unlike the Basset Hound, the Wiener dog I had that I had some struggles with or whatever, Shih Tzus are some durable ass little dogs.
Yes,
man.
yeah.
Even Daisy's had medical issues, but you're gonna have that dog forever, man. That's crazy.
And it's not like life-threatening medical; it's just arthritis,
Yeah.
which a lot of old people and stuff.
Because how old is Daisy? At
12.
this point?
She's
yeah,
12.
She's 12, and Lily is 10.
7.
Oh, 7. I didn't realize there's that much of a difference.
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the two of
No,
them.
she might be 8. I might be off by a year. Michelle will be
wow.
yelling at me right now if she heard this, but
Idiot.
yeah, I know. You don't know the dog's age.
Shih Tzus.
They
Man.
just ate about a pound. They love pasta noodles. So every time we eat spaghetti, Michelle takes 2 little plates, cuts up the noodles for them. They eat them like crazy. They think they're Italian. I don't know.
R.I.P. Goo. Goo loved when Heather made lasagna. Heather would lay out those strips. And then, there's always the lasagna noodles left over. She just chum them to the Goo, and he would just, he just tore
He
them
loved
up,
pasta
man.
noodles.
Oh, my
Something
God.
about pasta noodles.
Yeah.
So that Lady and the Tramp thing might be true because
Yeah.
dogs seem to like pasta noodles.
I never even thought about that, but yeah, he loved them.
You know what my dogs don't like? I dropped a little chunk of it the other day. Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah?
Put it in her mouth and she was like, just dropped it. Neither one of them would eat it.
Like a tomato chunk.
Yeah, it was like a
Because
tomato.
I'm like, tomato sauce, the Goo would lick your spaghetti plate clean.
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end of the
Well,
day.
because you cook beef and stuff inside this.
Yeah.
They probably would eat the sauce, but like a raw tomato, they had
No.
lettuce too. I always screw with them. Sometimes I'll give them a chunk of lettuce. They'll
You know
take
what's
it
funny
and
is
then spit
the
it out.
Wiener would eat a lot of lettuce, like because
Really?
we buy like that shredded lettuce, and I would like put it on stuff, and then the Wiener would gobble that shit up if it fell on the floor. Yeah.
So,
man.
little look at
I love
animals.
dogs.
I got to keep my wife off Facebook because she keeps staring at Krista's little puppy, and it's like no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now, on a different note, Heather made mention Trisha's posting a lot of stuff. Did she do like an ancestry or something like that? She was making mention that Trish was saying a lot about how we're Scandinavian Vikings and all this kind
Well,
of stuff.
I told
too.
her about.
Oh, okay.
this
Maybe
stuff.
she's just now hitting onto it or
Yeah,
something
maybe
like
she's
that.
a little delayed. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I told
Heather
her.
was just
I
saying.
sent her the email with a copy of it a long time ago.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
Heather's like, yeah, she's just now posting this stuff. So yeah, it's funny
Trish's
to
a little
see.
behind sometimes, but so okay. So this week we got some movies for you, and I did see about 3 good ones. The first one on the list, I saw Captain Stuber. It's not Captain Stuber. It's just called Stuber. It was out over the summertime. Dave Bautista and Kamal.
The Jamadopetamine or something like that. Yeah, it's
the
tough
Indian
to
dude
say.
from Silicon Valley.
Funny dude, man.
I like him. He's very
What's the
humorous.
movie where he wrote it with his woman and all that kind of stuff?
It's something about big love or big medicine. Something I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
Big
the-
Sick. I
Big
think
Sick,
it's yeah,
that's
it's
it,
a good movie. It's a very good movie.
That one I missed. I didn't miss that one with him.
It's very entertaining. I think you should check it out.
In Men in Black, he plays a little character, the newest one. He was the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, he can be really funny. His kind of dry humor is pretty entertaining.
Very dry again in this one. If
But
you-
back to your point, though, before you get onto the critics slammed this movie.
yeah, it. Did you like Paul Blart?
mean, it's okay. I mean,
it's like the same. It's
okay.
like, it's actiony comedy, goofy, silly stuff happens.
Okay.
Dave Bautista is a cop. He's on a case, been trying to track this drug dealer forever, and he's got a partner who happens to be the other girl from Guardians of the Galaxy in with him.
I just had a Bud Light burp. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And she gets killed right away in the beginning of the movie. And there's a thing, he's got bad vision the whole time. He's getting old, his vision's going on.
Batista has the bad vision?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're passing his case off to the feds, and he gets some time off, and he gets LASIK eye surgery, so he can't really see too well. Of course, one of his informants, while he's down with the LASIK eye surgery, tells him about the drug dealer is going to be here, and he has no way, he can't drive because his vision's all screwed up, and he calls an Uber, who...
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
comedy ensues.
And comedy ensues, and he keeps the Indian guy, makes him, pretty much forces him to help him out through the whole thing. And it's got some laughs. It's, like I said, it's about like a Paul Blart,
Much like you just described Jexy last week, the trailer looked funny. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Well, another one suffers from a lot of funny scenes in the trailer.
Yeah.
But it still had a little more than that. So I would put this a notch above Jexy. What I give 5 to Jexy? Oh, time for Steve 6. Stuber's going to get the Steve 6.
It's a solid 6.
Solid 6. Yeah. I mean,
Check it out on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're expecting some hangover type level comedy, no. But if you liked Paul Blart, you'll probably like this. That's my take on it. And if you like that guy, the guy from Silicon, not a lot. Like Bert doesn't like that guy.
What is his beef? I think he's funny. He's like subtle funny.
Bert doesn't get that humor. He doesn't get that real dry, subtle humor.
Oh man, I find that stuff really funny.
I do. If it's
yeah,
done right.
I really
and
do
he's like
enjoy
a nerdy.
it.
His car is an electric car, so that makes you laugh even more. At one point, trying to get away, the car just died, so they've been driving all day. And then Batista's like, "Well, just switch the gas." He's like, "There is no gas, it's an electric car." So there's a whole scene with that. So it's funny, but it's not great. It's the only thing, kind of a bummer. But I mean, what did you expect?
That's why it gets a Steve 6.
Steve 6. The Steve
That's
6.
We're changing the name of the podcast to Solid 6.
Solid 6. Yes. So that's Stuber. And then the next one I watched the next night was Crawl.
Barry Pepper, R.I.P. Joe. Looks like
Joe
as he aged. Yeah.
The concept of this is Barry Pepper lives in Florida. His daughter, who's in college, is a not Olympic swimmer, but a college swimmer for the Florida Gators. And a big hurricane's hitting Florida.
Okay.
And both his daughters have been trying to call down there to get him, but he's not answering his phone. So the one daughter drives down there right when the hurricane's hitting.
So she's in Florida State, but then Dad's down in the Everglades or whatever. Let me go down and pick up Dad. And see what he's doing.
Because he's not answering his phone. They were worried about it.
Okay.
And they end up
getting caught in the shit.
Well, just the one girl goes down, and he's not answering his phone and everything. He's not in his first house, but then they have another house that they were raised in. That he was working down in the basement there. I don't know a lot about drainage ditches, all right? I'll be honest with poop pipes.
Steve's like, I don't know infrastructure of a city, but...
I don't know what they're like in Florida.
Okay.
So she gets there, and keep that in mind. So she gets there, and he's out cold under the house with big gashes on his right shoulder behind these pipes. So she goes down there and grabs him. He's not waking up. He's unconscious. She starts dragging him toward the steps. Out through the steps comes the world's biggest gator you've ever seen.
Wow.
15 foot long, about 2 foot wide.
Just mega gator.
So she gets back under the pipes, and the gator can't make its way through the pipes. So it's in this space.
Just shy.
It's in,
just shy.
Of course, everything's just missing.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a gator in this basement. He eventually wakes up and says that the gator came through the drainage pipe. I don't know what size pipe this is, because this is a dinosaur-sized gator. I don't know.
He's like, you got a 4-inch main at biggest?
Yeah.
Somehow he's got like a 2-foot wide pipe leading out.
Oh, my God. This is the biggest gator.
Wow.
If that thing came through his drainage pipe.
Steve, every time you take a dump now, you're thinking twice. Like,
oh, my God.
It's going into a 2-foot pipe, man. Be careful.
So I don't know what kind of drainage pipes they have in Florida, but
That's
they must
funny.
be huge.
So, in other words,
gator.
to your point, it came into his drainage pipe 15 years ago.
It grew, apparently.
Yeah, that's funny.
So most of the movie, and that's not the only gator. There's another gator in the...
So I thought that the city itself flooded, and that's how they pushed into the houses.
Well, it's starting to flood, and this gator came in quicker through the drainage pipe. 2 of them, actually.
Oh, okay.
You don't see the second one until she tries to go somewhere else, and the second one comes out, chomps her leg. but she's okay. She just puts everything in this movie. Every time you get bit, all you gotta do is wrap a scarf around it. You're good to go.
Just tie it off.
Yeah,
Just tie it off.
You're good to go. So
The Rambo of crocodile.
and then of course the
alligator
hurricane's coming in, so the water's rising while they're in this crawl space underneath.
Okay.
And then like
movie. We run out of space.
and also with
because
the
of
water,
course the basement is watertight, but it's taking on water.
Yeah,
That's
son.
so weird.
well, it's not a basement. It's like a 3-foot crawl
'cause
space.
it's crawl space.
Yeah, so apparently they made their crawl spaces with giant holes in them and giant.
Just enough to let water in, not
Yeah.
so much water out.
So now everything's flooding around them, even outside the house, and this is pulling in more gators. So outside the
For
house,
some reason, they're inundating this
yeah,
one
well,
house.
on the way to the house, there's a sign, Gator Farm. So apparently the Gator Farm flood, and 50 gators came out. So there's this gas station. and
I
there's-
love how Hollywood just shoehorns in everything they need to make their plot work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes, yeah. So
we
there's-
need 600 gators. How would they be there? Farm.
Yeah, yes. So there's 3 guys or 3. They're robbing the local gas station because everything's flooded. Everyone left. So they're
Well,
trying,
yeah, they're looting.
They're putting an ATM up on the boat. Well, of course, the mega gators went over and ate all 3 of
Well,
them.
yeah. I mean, the bad guys got to bite it.
Yeah, and then 2 cops show up, and guess what? Mega gators ate the 2
oh,
cops,
man.
and it's all these
Bud Light Bird.
Yeah, Bud Light Bird. All these near death just barely miss. At one point, she finds the cop's gun, and the gator bites her all the way up to her elbow, and she has her hand in the gator, just shooting it from the inside.
But the teeth would still have gone through tendons and arm meat.
Yeah, well, no, the gator dies, falls off, and then she's just like,
Back to square one.
just a little bit of blood gushing out.
Wow.
She wraps the thing around it.
So many scarves
So many
available.
scarves. And everything's just near death, near death, near death. And finally, they end up on the roof. And the
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard shows up. And Barry Pepper's at one part. He's holding the flare, and the hallway's flooding. He's like up on the steps. He's looking for his daughter. Gator comes out of the water,
Dude.
bites his whole arm off up to here. He pulls
Ties
back.
it off.
Swear to God, takes his shirt, just ties the chunk. Good to go.
Dude, when you get your arm just bit off.
You wouldn't pass out from shock. No.
No, you square, man. Just wrap it in the t-shirt.
So, I mean, it's crazy.
It's one of those things where I think that we're not supposed to look at it that way.
Yeah,
We're just
yeah.
supposed to say, oh, I mean, if you're going to take what Age of Ultron or whatever and start to
Yeah,
like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
I mean, the part I hated the most, so he's divorced from her mother. At one point, they're in the basement, water's
They're having
filling
heart
up.
to heart.
Yeah, giant gators swimming around them. Yeah, I never really wanted to leave your mother
Oh,
because of
it
divorce.
was tough times.
I mean, it's like, now you're going to have a heart-to-heart family
Meanwhile, they
discussion?
got 8 wounds
Yeah.
tied off.
And the fact that she's a swimmer came into play like 20.
Oh, my God.
You could swim to that boat. They won't catch. She's out swimming gators. So it was, I mean, you got to watch it just for the train wreck that it was.
Sounds not that terrible if you could just turn your brain
I'll give them
off.
credit. The gators look good. I mean,
Oh, the CG's on top? Yeah.
They look pretty good. And even when there's one part where she gets bit again in the arm, and the gator takes her underwater and starts doing that death roll thing. So it's kind of accurate there.
Okay.
But, man.
What do you give Crawl, Steve?
I give it about a 4. I wasn't bored, I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. But at the same time, it's like,
That's funny.
seriously, this is like.
Ah.
So if you want some gator action, now come to find out.
Some hot gator
I know a
action.
little bit about animals. I don't know why. I watch a lot. Gators aren't the aggressive ones. Crocodiles are. So a gator would
I
never
don't think I
actually.
know this.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So anytime, like in
They're
a
not going to
street-
actively hunt? is
No,
what
they're
you're
not going to
telling
come
me?
after you like that. But for the movie,
How do they
obviously.
eat? I don't
How-
understand.
They go after fish and other things in the swamp. Usually with humans, they try to avoid them.
Huh.
Where a crocodile won't. Crocodile try to fuck you up. And that's in
Oh.
Africa or Australia. Alligators are known not to come near you. Now, of course, there's stories of little boys and stuff that keep the gators probably hungry.
Well, I was going to say,
mistook
what
it for
happened
an
to that
animal.
kid at Disney World that
Yeah,
got
I mean,
snatched
a little
from-
kid like that, yeah, they probably mistaken it for an animal. and
But
went
you're
after
saying a
it.
full-grown adult human, Barry Pepper. They're
Yeah,
not gonna
like
be-
you've seen crocodiles on golf courses where the guys are golfing, the crocodile or the alligator just
God,
keeps
some of those
walking.
are so big.
Yeah, but the gator doesn't turn around chase after people like it does in this
How
movie.
crazy would that be?
I had that golf club be whacking the shit out of that gator. Yeah, but yeah. So
But I know this
little
much. I
random
know that,
African.
and back to, like you said, like randomness that you know, to your description of when it bit her arm, I know that, like, that chomping force is just diabolical.
Yeah,
like,
it
so
would go
it
through
would
it.
just destroy.
Which later in the movie, Barry Pepper's arm, it goes right through it like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, meanwhile,
but
she
this
was
girl's arm
dropping a 9 in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
what the
like-
heck?
Oh man! But I know they had to have something. But I tell you what, if it's on cable one day and you're bored, just You won't be
Okay.
bored, but you'll be like, Jesus, seriously? But it is a very unique movie. Now, the other one I went to the theater to see this week, and I did check. It finished third in the movies. Number one was
Third, huh?
Maleficent was number one.
Yeah, it beat out Joker. which was
Joker
a big
finally
to-do.
lost. And Joker's approaching $800 million worldwide. So, wow. I'd
So
never
those comic book movies, man.
Yeah, but it's the least comic book movie
It doesn't
ever.
matter. It's
Yeah, I
got
know.
DC on it and everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
Aquaman made a mint. Any of them. Like, name me a comic book movie that didn't make, like, almost that much money.
Yeah, the first Punisher with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
That was
like,
back when they were terrible.
Yeah, but any of the current MCU movies or all these DC movies, they make a mint. I don't know.
Yeah, so
I
Joker-
guess the only one I could say is what's it, Doctor Strange with Cumberbatch? Did that make a ton of money?
It made money, but it didn't.
I'm gonna look that up. while
Joker's
you-
already surpassed. Joker's surpassed Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Justice League. I saw a list today. But that's not what I went and saw. I went and saw Zombieland Double Tap. This is the sequel to the first Zombieland made in 2009 with Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and I always forget the little girl's name.
Doctor Strange made 677.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And Joker's beat it. It's at 700 million. So,
Yeah.
So, but I saw Zombieland Double Tap. Charles was not a fan of the first one. I liked it.
I
thought
think
it
it
was.
was. It tried to be an action comedy, and I would say it was kind of. It didn't do either one really well. Is my argument, and that's kind of. I think that the Woody Harrelson character is interesting, but you don't like him, so it's like, what do we? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, this one's a lot like the first one. It kind of picks up right where the first one left off, but obviously 10 years later they kind of address that. They've decided to move to the White House to make it their house. So
I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, and there's a lot of jokes and stuff. I like the movie. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. The reason why I like it is a nice change of pace where you watch The Walking Dead and everything's so serious and so somber, and a lot of things.
Are you? Hold on, before you get off that, are you watching the current season of Walking Dead?
Yeah.
The fact that we haven't discussed it on the show tells me everything we need to know.
With the Whisperers, they're terrible.
Anyway, so to your point.
That's my point. I mean, it's so hard to sit through The Walking Dead sometimes because it's like, will you lighten up a little bit? I mean, geez. And here this comes along where it's the same guy. And one thing I'll give this credit to, the zombies have actually, what do you call that? God damn it. Advanced. So
Okay, like mutated?
they mutate a little bit. So they're a little smarter now and they can run and it takes more bullets to kill them. So that's kind of a neat premise is you got something a
You
little
got
different.
evolution of zombies.
Yeah, where Walking Dead it's still the same, which I thought they were gonna
because
do
The
in The
Walking Dead, they don't give a shit about the zombies. It's
Yeah,
all the other
they really
stuff.
don't. They don't. But I like the Zombieland Double Tap. I'd give it about a 7. There's a scene. Stick around in the credits. There's a scene with Bill Murray, and it's pretty fucking hilarious. I really like that part with Bill Murray. I like the character of Woody Harrelson. I think he's really funny.
What are they trying to do in this current one? Still just survive? Is that
No, so there's 4 of them. They're kind of like a family. Jesse Eisenberg likes Emma Stone. Those two are kind of getting more serious.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson just being crazy ass Woody Harrelson. The young girl, and I can't think of her name. I always forget her name. She's supposed to be 21 in this movie, so she wants people her age. Where Jesse Eisenberg and them are in their 30s, and she's looking for a boyfriend, and a guy comes along that's kind of like that, and she kind of takes off with him. Comes to find out he's a pacifist hippie guy that doesn't believe in weapons. It pisses off Woody Harrelson.
Oh, okay.
So they want to go find her because he treats her like a daughter figure, and you want to make sure they're safe. So they end up chasing them across the country to save them.
So we got to follow her to save her.
And what's the girl's? The girl from Clerks, Rosario Dawson. She shows up.
Okay.
She's in it. She kind of becomes a love interest for Woody Harrelson's character and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Luke Wilson's in it and the guy from Silicon Valley, the white guy, the little skinny nerdy guy,
Michael, whatever his
the
name
main guy.
is.
Yeah. So those two. They show up, and they are just like Woody Harrelson and Jesse
Yeah, I
Eisenberg.
saw that in the trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a whole scene with that. I don't want to ruin it
Okay.
for you, but it's pretty good. I give it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Michelle enjoyed it. We both enjoyed it. Theater's about half packed. So
Sounds like if you like the first one, you'll enjoy more.
yeah,
of
yeah.
the
If you like Woody Harrelson, you'll like it. I find him
Much
funny.
like we'll discuss later, if you like Call of Duties, get the new Call of Duty game, get the new Zombieland game, get the new Zombieland movie.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. Thumbs up for me. It gets more than a Steve 6. It gets a
man.
solid 7.
You're
I
pulling
give
a
the first
7
one
out
an
of this podcast. You're doing good.
Yeah. So So now I saw this. I didn't watch it. 24/7 All Access College Football.
Yeah, so HBO does a lot of these 24/7. So basically, and we've chronicled on this show, I love behind the scenes of any kind of I'm going to call it pro sports because let's face it, college football's pro sports.
Yeah,
you can
pretty
call
much.
it what you want to. But they've done it for a lot of boxing stuff and a lot of that. But this happens to be, so if you like Hard Knocks, which I find it's one of my favorite shows on all of HBO, like that preseason stuff when they pick an NFL team and chronicle the journey of a handful of people trying to make the team, fascinating stuff. And then this is basically the only thing I'd say that this kind of sucks. So this is all access for one given week of this college program. So the first week was Florida. Then the next time was Penn State. Then they're going to go on to Arizona State and Washington State. They come out about every 2 or 3 weeks. They're not really every week. The only thing first of all, it's fascinating to watch. I mean, to see what these student athletes, as they call it, are going through to do this and to play at a Division I school and the pressures that they're under and the academic stuff that they still have to do. And then they show Felipe Franks when he's injured at Florida and all this kind of stuff, and he's crying and stuff like that and trying to understand what his career is going to be. It is super fascinating stuff. The only thing that's an issue with it is because you only get the 1 week, it's tough because whereas Hard Knocks was good because you got certain characters every week kind of coming in. You wanted to see them do good in a preseason game. It would be much better if they could just follow a program. I don't know what the rules are. I know Notre Dame had a Showtime show at one season.
And Michigan had one on Amazon.
Okay, and I bet you that's
it sounds
way
like
better.
that, but just down to 1 week.
Yeah, and I think it's better. I think that giving you a season, you don't realize how much. I mean, some of these facilities at Penn State are unbelievable, Steve. And you're just watching it. Me and you talked kind of.
Did you see the Joe Pa statue? Was that around?
They don't talk about any of that stuff. It is that university has scrubbed that whole thing.
We don't talk about that.
It's so funny, man. But we talked about kind of at length yesterday about our love of the James Franklin guy, the head coach for Penn State, and kind of how you just got to watch this show. If you have any kind of affinity towards this guy, he comes off fantastic, and it's a great show. And like I said, my only rub would be, to me, if you were to do this next season, pick a team and stick with a team. Yeah.
It's funny that I watched that Notre Dame one. Brian Kelly came off kind of like a dick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He wasn't he didn't come off super dick like he seemed on the sideline.
But
before.
you see he's cutthroat.
Yeah, and this was 4 or 5 years ago, whatever that show came out. I can't remember. So this is before
I never watched that one.
Down.
I had
it was good. They followed a lot of the guys, and the one guy was hurt, and they were showing how he got around campus with a little leg thing.
See what I mean? Yeah, that stuff is really neat, and they still have academic requirements, and like I said, the facilities at Penn State, man. If you're a recruit, I don't know, man. It just is next level. The stuff they give these kids.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
Did they show where they get the juice from?
No, there was no juice. I didn't see that.
That's off camera?
Yeah, that must be in the trainer room. But yeah, fascinating stuff. They show them in the weight room and stuff like that.
So what do you give it out of 1 to 10?
I'd give it a solid 8. It would be
8.
a 9 or a 10 for me if you just stuck with one team. I'm fascinated to see Herm Edwards on the Arizona State week. That's going to be really interesting, I think, because just his philosophy and his way of looking at
his
things.
Nutty ways of everything.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. And then they got old boy from Texas Tech, who used to be at Texas Tech, the coach, and now he's at Washington State. I don't remember the guy's name, but once you see him, you'll be like, oh, that guy is up at Washington State. So
it's the crazy guy, the big nose,
bigger, tubbier guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
someone's screaming, "It's this guy!"
Yeah.
But now, before we go into the retro review, I did watch with Charles, and I wanted to confirm what Charles watched last week. Deion Cole's stand up from Netflix.
Yeah.
Very funny. Liked it a lot. I did like those jokes.
Cold-hearted is the
We
name
pulled
of
out
it.
that piece of paper with the jokes. And
I wrote these down. He's just looking around. It's really funny.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, I feel like he's
I
kind of
recommend him.
original with that bit. I don't think I've ever seen.
I recommend him highly over Wanda Sykes. I liked his way better than Wanda Sykes.
Well, it's because to your point, the preach level didn't get as high.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes too much preaching. So there you go, Deion Cole. Now let's go into the retro review. Now this is one of our last ones. We got one coming next week for the 60s. But this week we finished up with the 50s. We've covered, the 30s, the 40s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now we've got the 50s. Then this one is Some Like It Hot. starring
With
Marilyn
Marilyn
Monroe
Monroe.
and Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis.
I didn't know who Tony Curtis was.
I got him confused with Telly Savalas, the bald guy.
Telly
'Cause
Savalas.
I looked at Michelle.
Who loves your baby?
I go, shouldn't this guy be bald? She goes, no, that's Telly Savalas. I'm like, oh,
okay.
Oh, all
Did
right.
Michelle watch it with you?
Yes, she did.
Well, the
didn't care
thing we
for it
talked
either.
pre-show, Marilyn Monroe is a beautiful woman.
Oh.
Even back
Those
in
are double D's, right?
I don't know what they are. She is gorgeous.
Even by
dude.
1950 standards,
You
that
could
is a
bring her to
beautiful woman.
2019 and she is smoking hot still. I don't know. She does it for me. She checks all the boxes. That
She's
chick
pretty
is
hot,
gorgeous.
curvy.
Oh my god.
I'd like to see her grow her hair out. Maybe I'm not a real
Well, I
fan
think
of
she was
short
like a
cut hair.
product of the time.
Yeah, because every girl in that movie had short hair. No one liked long hair in the 50s,
Oh my
apparently.
lord, Mamacita, she's delicious.
Yeah,
But,
and this movie knew it because they put her in a lot of tops that were
yeah,
see-through.
she was very like exposed.
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god! And some of those outfits I was just like, dude, she's a moment to lose a boob here.
And no other girl in the movie was like that, just her.
Yeah.
That was like, wow, they really emphasized the hotness of her.
I thought for me, and again, we talked about it pre-show, like it reminded me of like a movie you'd see in 2019. Basically, the Jack Lemmon character and the Tony Curtis character witness a murder from a gangster, and then they got to go hide, and they hide as women.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a movie you would see starring Steve Martin and Martin Short in the 80s.
Martin Lawrence and Big Mama's House.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 movies now that I don't know if
Mrs.
this
Doubtfire.
yeah, that was original, but it didn't. Out of all the retro reviews that we've watched, this one was right up there with like the Purple Rain as far as my ability to rewatch it. I thought it was a decent movie. It's in that borderline time where they're still trying to overact a little bit.
Yeah, I felt that way with Jack Lemmon a lot.
Yeah,
It was really.
where we're emoting. It's like, dude, you're not in a play still. Just play it for real. Like when they're running around and stuff and having little antics.
Yeah, I didn't feel Tony Curtis did it much, but I felt Jack Lemmon was really like,
Yeah.
especially when all those girls were piling into his bed, and he was just,
I didn't know what to do. You got 10 smoking hot 1950 chicks in your bed.
Yeah.
What to do?
Yeah,
I'm
so
confused.
zany.
Yeah. Dude. And what's funny is that I look up all the reward or awards that these movies get. 2 Golden Globes, Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon won for that, and then it won 1 Academy Award for the costume design.
Seriously, the costume design was only because her tits were hanging out. Right?
Oh my God.
They were like, good job on them tits. We
Dude,
let them
I'm
out as
telling
an
you,
award.
kudos. Kudos.
I mean, what are the costumes were there?
I
I mean,
don't
the
know,
guys
man.
dressed like women. I
Yeah.
mean, Michelle gave him props for running in the high heels in that.
Yeah,
one
they
scene.
were, and they were very comfortable in them.
Yeah, so I was like, that was pretty.
And I talked about it pre-show. I thought that like the homosexual overtones were kind of crazy for the time with which it was filmed, 1959.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably really cutting edge for that time. I'm sure someone's staring at me going like, there was this movie and that movie, but I don't know. It was a mainstream movie that didn't shy away from like men.
By 1959, it would have been in color. That's the only thing I was kind of throwing me
Yeah.
out. Because Wizard of Oz was 1939, and that was in color. This is
Is
20
Wizard of Oz 1939?
Yeah, and this is 20 years later, and it's still in black and white.
It just goes to show how amazing the Wizard of Oz was. That was 20 years before then. Wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of unique. I was like, why isn't this in color? I thought it would be in color, but hey, maybe it was more expensive to film in color back then. I don't know.
The usual press me for a number. I'd give it a solid Steve. I'd give it a 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't as quintessential to me as like Purple Rain was, but it definitely is 10 times better than so many of the other movies we've chronicled on this show. It's not
Well,
even
most
funny.
of it I've given 2s or 3s, so I'll give this one a 4.
Yeah, I
my
don't
my
know.
biggest gripe, it's supposed to be a comedy, and I didn't feel like anything was that funny.
It was a
throughout.
little madcap.
Maybe the
zaniness.
very
Yeah.
last scene where he's like, "Well, I'm a guy," and the guy was like, "I'm fine with that too." That was kind of funny, but all the rest, I don't know what comedy is in 1959.
Yeah,
but like I was telling Michelle, I watched Stooges and Laurel and Hardy and all the other comedies. They were
There was a
funny
lot
back
of
then.
Stooge vibe to it, like when they were in the weird where they whacked the guys at the dinner.
Oh, and they're hiding under the
it
table.
reminded me of like Three Stooges. Is
Yeah.
what it did. It was crazy.
So there you go, 1959. So next week, Randy suggested this is
For
Raquel
the
Welch.
60s,
This is 1 million BC. It's called.
1 million BC.
This has dinosaurs in it. So we're going old school kind of sci-fi. It's about 2 different tribes of Neanderthals. One of them are hot.
I don't even know what this is. I'll be honest
well,
with you.
allegedly the poster of Raquel Welch from this movie is one of the top selling posters of all time.
Well, I'm telling you this.
She's
man.
the next. It was Marilyn Monroe, then Raquel Welch. So she's
I was
supposed to be the
so
next one.
intrigued by the man. I'd ask. I was talking to Heather about it. I'm like, what happened to her? Like she died of like pills or something?
Yeah,
Overdose?
and a lot of people are claiming
it was a JFK link, and
Yeah,
she
yeah,
kind of touched on all that stuff.
It was
but
kind of the Epstein'der.
I'll tell you
back
this
then.
much, man. Marilyn Monroe is a looker, yo. I don't know, man. That's one of those chicks because, like, you see some of like Audrey Hepburn looks like a rat or a mouse. Or like, what is this chick?
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe is fine. So I'm just gonna
Well,
tell
the next
you.
week is Raquel Welch, so allegedly she's supposed to be one of the hottest of all time too.
Oh,
and,
wow.
so it's two tribes of like Neanderthals. One are very pretty, like Raquel Welch. The other kind look like the old school caveman, and they're supposed to somehow clash. And there's dinosaurs, so this is gonna be
So
terrible.
this is a big '60s movie that Randy's recommended.
He recommended it.
Is it like from his youth or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He knew that poster, and
He immediately he's like, I need a '60s movie. and
Raquel
this is-
Welch was the thing in the '60s. Apparently, she was the Marilyn Monroe of the '60s. So we'll find out when we watch this next. I don't know where I'm going to find it yet. I haven't found it.
So out of this journey, again, the top two for me is this Some Like It Hot, and then the Purple Rain still was just it oozed such '80s Prince vibe. I just loved it. I thought that was fantastic.
see the Purple Rain. I probably should have watched because I don't like any of them.
I'm just
If
telling
I had to
you.
pick one, maybe American Graffiti, but I don't even. I don't
Dude,
know.
and like I said,
I
I
like the
got
music
props
in
for
American
Gone with the
Graffiti.
Wind on the different
Oh,
angle.
but
I
yeah,
thought
but
that
they
was
got to
good.
take about 2 hours out of that movie.
Steve's like, we got to take an edit to this thing and just start cutting chunks.
Yeah, and then they won for editing. So
Yeah.
So this will be the last decade, and then from here we'll just take to our new stuff. It's been funny. I find
It's
that most-
becoming a little too much like work, honestly.
Well, I'm struggling to stay awake. And sit through these things.
Yeah, dude.
I find that most movies that I missed are a reason I missed them because they're
Yeah.
terrible.
So far, it's not like, oh, I can't believe I didn't see this before.
Yeah, it's like I've
Yeah.
never seen a hidden jewel and went, man, I wish I would have seen. No, not
Yeah.
once, not so far. So there we go. Now let's go into wrestling, Charles. You put that one note at the end, and I forgot I was going to put it on. I saw it today. But first, what was our gripe about AEW?
They're
How
so
pudgy.
doughy.
Well,
They
Jer-
all need this juice. They just
Jericho
they need...
must have got the note.
Yeah, dude. It must
in
be
the
more
main
than just
event-
us railing against him.
In the main event, Jericho wore a muscle like a cutoff
Like
shirt.
a tank top.
Yeah, but you know how wrestlers do. They cut the sleeves and cut that V here,
okay.
But he wrestled with a shirt. First time in his
Intentional, or was it like an impromptu match? You think
No,
this
no,
was,
no, no.
He came
It was
down
intentional.
to the ring. So hold on. You watched AEW this
Yes,
past
I
week.
I did. It's 2 hours.
How
I'll
is
get back.
how is that product holding up for Steve?
It's not improved since the first time we watched it. It's
my
about the same.
Are they developing things differently? Are we seeing a different
I don't
characters rising to the top? Are we?
Well, your boy Kenny Omega barely ever wrestles, and when he does wrestle, it's very brief.
it's a misstep.
yeah,
it's a misstep.
They're really promoting Johnny Moxley. They got a lot invested in him, and then that whole heel click they got at the very end, the Inner Circle. It's called now. It's Jericho, Jack Swagger.
So it's a straight up NWO.
the
ripoff.
Evil Panda and the two Mexican
Yeah,
wrestlers.
Great.
Because at the
but
end,
now
they-
Jericho's rocking a cutoff T-shirt.
yeah, and he came out like Joker makeup on. He had like white. It was black. It was like it looked like the Joker but black instead of
So
blue.
they are going straight WCW. Like,
It was
it's
weird.
bad. It's NWO.
Jericho wins. He wrestled this guy called Darby. You've seen him. He's about 110 pounds of blonde hair. It's like, seriously, this guy's going to wrestle? And he beat him, but he went back and forth.
Did he break out that spinning back elbow thing?
No, actually, he won because Jack Hager had to come down and interfere. The little Darby kid was on the top rope, and the guy pushed him off, and then small package. He didn't do his devastating dad elbow. He didn't
my
do that.
God.
So
But he's wrestling in a shirt. was
it
what
makes it
you're
even
pointing.
matter worse. So the one big dude they got is that Luchasaurus guy. Remember him?
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be in a tag match. Allegedly got hurt in real life.
Oh, okay.
So they replaced him with this guy that's like 4 foot tall. I don't know.
We went the exact
It was
opposite.
Jungle Boy and this little tiny guy. They wrestled the luchador. I don't know. I know everyone's dying for something to replace WWE, but come on.
You don't think this is the answer?
No, I mean, they got a lot of work still to do. They're losing stuff quickly. So that was it. Now, the other note, and you told me about this earlier in the week, and I read it right after you told me. Oh, Jesus. That's
Bud
damn
Light,
Bud Light.
man.
Eric Bischoff has been let go already by the WWE. Now, the reason
Was there a beef? Was there more
no,
to
from
it?
what I'm understanding, they hired him and Paulie Dangerously what is his real name?
Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman. For some reason I'm a blank on that. As creative directors, one of Raw, one of SmackDown. Well, actually, Eric Bischoff was only brought in because he has good relations with the networks. So he was brought in to smooth everything over for the transition for SmackDown from USA to Fox. Once they got over there and everything started running good, they let him go. So apparently Bischoff knew that was going to happen, and this wasn't out of the blue. So he was never really a creative director. He was just there for relations.
What
with
issues would they have had? I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know the back. It's not really.
They
don't have issues. It's just
they're publicly putting that out there.
Yeah,
it
maybe
sounds like they're spinning it.
Maybe I don't know.
That just doesn't add up to me.
That's the story that's out there right now. He was only brought in to help smooth the transition over to Fox. Who knows?
Give him a title and get him over there.
Yeah, and he's gone now. He's unemployed, so not really sure.
We'll see at AEW in a month.
Yeah, so he's gone. Now they also did this whole draft thing,
which they do periodically. Correct?
Yeah. They've usually do.
This is where we got Raw people. We've got Smackdown,
and each show has like a war room, and then like Stephanie McMahon will come out after a commercial break and announce the 6 or 7 picks, and most of them just stayed where they are. I mean, all the champs stayed where they are. Yeah, so it was like, what is the point? A couple mid-card guys got flipped and flopped around, but that was about it. I was like, this is pointless. It was such a waste of time. They should just did the draft and posted it on the website or something. Hey, check out all the draft members on the website.
I still don't know why they do the draft. That's still my whole thing is why can't
I guess
you
to build
up?
the excitement of, this guy's going to this show and this. I don't know.
Does it though? That's my question.
No, I told you it's terrible. It's a mess.
What the heck?
It's stupid. I don't think they should tell you what show they're going to go on, so that way when you're watching, you have no idea who's going to show
true.
up.
Oh, so
it's kind of surprising. Yeah. But what
have
do we
that
know?
reveal. Yeah.
What do we know? We don't. We just been watching for 30 years. What the hell I know?
Not me.
Yeah. And then the other big news. I kind of saw this one coming. SmackDown's moving to Fox Sports 1 just for this week because of the World Series.
I just thought it was funny that here it is, this big product, and we already moved it to like their B tier cable network. That's the only reason why it caught me weird that they had already moved it to FS1. I'm not saying that wrestling is bigger than the World Series by any stretch, but it's just funny to already see like, well, we got this product, kick it to the left.
My thing is, why don't they just move it to a day that the rest of the World Series is not?
That's what I'm saying.
Like move it to that Thursday or something.
If you needed to hold down your schedule, if this is a marquee thing in your schedule, that's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I couldn't even tell you what channel FS1 is. I know it's up there somewhere near ESPN, but that's about all I know. So there you go. A little wrestling news this week. Jericho knows he's fat. Bischoff is fired. The draft was a mess, and Fox is bumping SmackDown this week because of the World
I like
Series.
to hope that we had a little bit to do with the Jericho fatness.
Yeah, because no one else is addressing that.
We have railed at this since he's been back.
All those wrestling, the websites, no one ever mentions that AEW dudes are all out of shape.
Yeah, no
one does. It's like someone's got to say it eventually. So let's go into our favorite sport outside of wrestling because we know wrestling's number one.
Yeah.
Let's go to football, right? So last Thursday was a stinker of a game. Chiefs 31, Broncos 6. But the big news out of that?
Yes, Patrick Mahomes is out for 3 weeks from what I gather.
Yes.
He dislocated his knee on a QB sneak, which was a weird... So I was talking to a guy at work, and he's like, he's like, Andy Reid should never put him in that situation. I'm like, you only got to get like a yard, man.
Yeah.
It's a freak thing. I don't understand.
Tom Brady's been doing QB sneaks for 20 years. Nothing's happened to him.
You can't put him in a glass box and hope to win football games. It's not going to happen. At some point, I need you to get me this yard. And he didn't think anything of it. Just a freak thing that happened.
Yeah.
The real point is if you're talking about your whole team's going to. So here it is. We're watching the Saints game as we broadcast this. Teddy Bridgewater's 4-0. So like if your whole team is so linchpinned on this one guy being able to, you got bigger issues on your team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you can't go 3 weeks without this guy, no one's saying it's best case scenario, but you shouldn't just go into outright panic if this guy goes down. That's what I'm saying.
At least we don't have to hear about Rocket Arm for 3 weeks.
Oh my God!
Are they going to show? Is the Chiefs going to be on TV next week? If they are, I guarantee they're going to
always on.
They're going to have a camera on Mahomes on the sideline.
But they do that all when you watch the Steelers. They're always on watching Ben with his robo elbow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So annoying.
It's one of those things. I don't.
Now, is he too small? Does he need to be? Do some of these guys? I'm including the guy from Arizona. I'm including the guy from Baltimore. Do they got to learn the pocket a little better to maybe last longer in this league? It seems like all these rules have been changed to protect these quarterbacks, and they're all still getting hurt. So
I think it's just the nature of the game is my point. I don't know, because you just can't put your quarterback in a glass box. Like the whole thing that makes these Mahomes and what's his nuts from Baltimore, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It makes them you don't know, they could take off at any moment, and you know what I mean. Like Lamar Jackson way more than Mahomes, but like you need that dynamic like question mark to keep the defense a little honest. And if you're at some point, there's only so many Tom Brady's and Peyton Mannings in the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're never gonna even Ben Roethlisberger. Like you just can't get him down. He's such a big dude, so that he can still keep a play alive. I don't know. It's just a freak thing. And like I said, I don't think Kansas City's got other issues where it's like they can't stop people on defense at times.
Except for the Broncos. Well, scored 6.
Let's face it, Denver's a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Is John Elway on the Gus Malzahn?
He's got to be on the Malzahn, dude. If he's not, shame on Denver. Like that's a pure legacy retention if they keep him there. You know what I mean? Like at some
Who's
point.
on the Gus Malzahn hot seat?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Each week. So let's go into the NFL because that's fresh in all our minds. And we just watched our local team, the Detroit Lions, who has a rocket scientist coach who's supposed to be number 1 in defense. Well, they gave up 42 points.
Picked apart by Minnesota.
By Kurt. I used to play for MSU Cousins.
I'll tell you this much. So Matt Stafford went youngest or fewest games to 40,000 yards on a career.
Offensively, they look good today.
I don't know what the answer is for Detroit.
They scored 21 by the half, so it's not like their offense didn't show up.
I gotta tell you, they're not competitive in these games either. It's really weird. Just
what do you mean? They went back and forth for a while.
No, I know. I'm saying they are competitive.
Oh,
I'm trying to no, they
not.
are.
It's like they're right there.
Yeah, it's a really weird
and then
thing.
Something happens.
It's that typical like Detroit heartbreak thing where you're like, they probably should be way better than they are.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, they're like a play away from Kansas City they played really well against. And then the weird Green Bay
calls,
thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing.
It is ironic.
And then I tell you what, that Arizona tie is looking better because Arizona's rattled off like 4 in a row or something like that.
They've been playing good.
Yeah.
This loss squarely goes on their defense. I mean, Kirk Cousins went up and down the field like it was Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, they did whatever they wanted on offense today. So this one's squarely on the defense. If you could have got a couple punts in there, you might have won the game.
Yeah, it was weird, man. And here's the thing: like, I'm definitely not a Lions fan, nor are you. But are you that negative? If you're a Lions fan, are you like burn the house down? I don't think you are. I don't think you.
Yeah, but you're in a weird position. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
On the radio, they're all calling for their heads and fire all of them.
Do you think that that's just? I mean, what is your opinion? I feel like they're in these games.
They got to get a couple stars from somewhere on either side of the ball. Yeah, like they had a chance at Khalil Mack. Boy, are they regretting that now. I mean,
how'd that work out for you?
I mean, you need a pat.
Now you're playing them twice a year going, God damn, how do we stop this?
No. So if there's one thing they need is a pass rusher of some sort. Because their defense is solid, but there's a lot of
Snacks
times.
Harrison. Trey Flowers.
Snacks Harrison's just there to draw a double team and stop the run.
Yeah.
They don't get pressure on the quarterback like they should. Maybe it's their defensive scheme or I don't know what it is.
They're forcing them to throw.
Well, Kirk Cousins looked pretty clean by the end of that game. That's all I'm saying.
I
saw Matt Stafford got hit right in the head a couple times. And the Vikings were putting pressure on him. I didn't see any pressure on Kirk Cousins.
So do you think... But like you said, are they a piece or two away from being competitive? Is that your thought?
I would say, yeah, probably defensively more, and then they got to get more stout in the run, a little better in the run.
Like being able to run or against the run? Okay.
Yeah, to run. They do pretty well against the run. It's the pass that kills them. I don't know if you watched that game. They let a man called Ham score a touchdown.
Well, dude, and then that last where they, what was it, 40 to Tate Diggs or Tate Diggs? What's his name?
They can't. They need some pass rush is what I really think they need. But they kind of had it with Ziggy Ansah for about 4 games a year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird team, but I don't know how, if you're a Lions fan, how your claim like burn it down. I don't know if you can.
It's kind of weird right now. They're in a weird state, and it's like if they could tweak a few things and do a few things differently.
I'd be curious to hear from, like I said, like I don't work with any true Lions fans.
On the radio, they're ready to kill them all. Fire the Fords, fire.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
On the way here, they were ripping. Pretty much defensively, they were ripping them. A couple guys called in bitching about the offense, but I was like, they scored 30 against a pretty solid Minnesota's defense.
If you look at it, you've got 3 losses that aren't that, and then the tie aren't that terrible.
Yeah. So there's always a chance they can turn around. Now let's talk about the other dumpster fire that I enjoy in the South. And I think Matt Ryan got hurt this game.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I didn't see that on the crawl.
The running back got hurt. Their other running back got ejected for throwing a punch.
Wow.
The Atlanta Falcons are a hot dumpster fire right now.
The Falcons,
37-10 with and
talent
Atlanta
in the
was
world.
at home. Here's a $1 billion stadium they just built, and they can't win a game. They're 1-6. They got the highest paid receiving corps in the NFL, and they scored.
They paid Julio Jones a mint.
And they scored 10 points. The Lions scored more touchdowns. I don't know.
Man.
They are a dumpster fire. I don't get to see them often because now they suck. They'll never be on television. They are a mess. The Rams will look to get back into the fold with their win.
Yeah.
And then what is the Bears score right now?
The Bears are losing 10-12, and there was a lot of special teams issues for Chicago too.
Yeah, that botched punt in the beginning.
It looked like there was 2 of them as I was kind of peeping at it a little bit.
But at least the Bears are smart enough to kick the ball out the back of the end zone for a safety instead of a
Yeah.
touchdown. So the Bears-Saints going on right now. Saints are up 12-10. I do like Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater 4-0.
Yeah,
man.
I like him. I don't know if they're going to win this game. It's going to be grimy. It's probably going to end 16-10 or something. Bears the Lions need a pass rush. The Bears just need a drop of offense. That Trubisky guy, everyone they got on offense
I'll tell
is
you
terrible.
this though. So you're kind of railing against the Lions in Chicago. They were talking up this division like this is one of the divisions. No one's got a
Seems to be.
losing record.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that. I don't know, man.
Well, Lions have a losing record now.
I know,
after
but I'm
today,
saying going into.
Yeah. Now the big one. This is tonight. Let's get our predictions going. Eagles go into Cowboy Land to face Jerry Jones' crew. Who do you like in this one, Trevor?
I like Philadelphia. I always like Philadelphia relative. I just don't like Dallas. I can't
Yeah.
stand that team. I don't know.
Dak Prescott is not.
I
impressing
openly
anyone.
admit that Ezekiel Elliott's one of the best players in the league. I can't stand Dallas. You talk about a team that needs to just shit can at least administratively. How does Jason Garrett still have a job?
They're claiming if he gets
Jones
fired, he's going to be
annoys me.
rehired really quick.
I don't know, man. I don't like Dallas. They just in my fiber, my being. I don't like that.
They
team.
lost to the Jets. I'm going Eagles too.
But the problem with the Eagles is they're streaky and they're hurt.
Yeah.
They're dealing with the injury bug bad.
This is gonna be a grimy 20-14 Eagles. That's what I'm gonna say.
Put it on the background, do something else. is what
Yeah,
that
watch
sounds
Walking Dead. Well, I'm gonna later on tonight. I'll tell you what I'm gonna watch. It's in the notes later.
Oh,
Okay.
I saw that. and I'm
Yeah.
a little stoked for it too. We gotta have a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to Saturday, which we had a couple upset. Well, yeah, one upset, and then a couple of close ones that were pretty entertaining. Last night we had the Michigan Wolverines go to the whiteout of Penn State.
This game
28-21 was the winners. What is your thoughts?
We were
Travis?
watching Bare Knuckle while we watched this. We kicked it on a different TV so we could enjoy it. Penn State just let off the gas. This should have been a complete mollywhopping, and somehow in the second half,
Yeah, Michigan scratched their way
crawled
back
back in because Penn State just kicked it into neutral and stayed there. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
Penn State has a receiver called number one. The receiver, I don't know his name.
super scholarship.
All they tell him is go straight down the field, and they chucked it to him. For some reason, they quit doing that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That Penn State. So yeah, I don't know, man.
So
they got a big game coming up. They're going to go to East Lansing at a kind of a rivalry Big Ten game coming up.
and Michigan had a shot. They hit a receiver in the hands in the end zone, and the guy
should
dropped
have
it.
caught that. Yeah.
So Michigan put up a fight but loses.
It's a decent game. It seemed to be as we were kind of peeping it. The whiteout, you got to love it.
Now over in the Pac-12, Oregon stays alive a little bit with their win over 35-31. I was watching a lot of this game, and like I said to Charles, it's the most Samoans I've ever seen. There's Samoans everywhere on this field.
Yeah.
Oregon's
the
got a
University of
Samoan-
Hawaii, you just showed up.
Yeah. I mean, Oregon has a Samoan running back. They have
Tell you
Samoan
this,
linemen.
Watching a lot of pregame stuff, a lot of people liked Washington in this game. So it sounded
back
like
and forth.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a solid. This year, kind of Pac-12 football is kind of soured to me. I
The
don't
only
know.
thing they got is Oregon. So if Oregon keeps rolling, they got a shot. There's like
They
an
love
outside
that
shot.
quarterback, man.
Yeah.
He is the Mahomes of college football. Justin Herbert, they want to blow him every
they
week.
do. It seems like every once in a while there's a quarterback in Oregon, Mariota, Joey Harrington, and then
they
everyone
just-
just loves them. And so, but they
And
win.
then they show up in the NFL and they'll do squadoosh.
And if they win out, they'll most likely win the Pac-12. Then the Fighting Herm Edwards, Arizona State,
Did not show up.
they were ranked versus the ranked Utah. And, well, yeah, Charles said it. Herm Edwards did not show up.
Oh, my God.
21-3, Utah spanks them. There was a lot of Samoans in this game as well. Utah
Pac-12.
always has Samoans.
Yeah.
So the Pac-12 is the division of Samoans. Now, the big upset for the day, this is what everybody was talking about. Santa Lovey Smith and the Illinois Fighting Illini pull the upset against Wisconsin, 24-23.
This was totally a game where Wisconsin was overlooking Illinois. We're going to talk about who they got coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
They were looking past them and got bit. It's typical college football. Like, you got to get those kids ready to play. And I say kids, but they're all 20 and should be making more.
Bigger beards than us.
Yeah, but you got to get them ready to play every week, regardless of the opponent. And obviously, Wisconsin didn't do that.
Yeah. Now, the other scare that we didn't put on here was Kansas made Texas butt cheeks tighten up.
Okay.
Kansas scored a field goal with like a minute left to take the lead. It was 48-47 or something. Texas had to come back down and score a last-minute field goal to win. So Les Miles got them boys in Kansas.
Yeah.
I liked Les Miles. I did, even when he's at LSU.
I was going to tell you, so I just talked about the 24/7 access. There's a show on ESPN Plus that follows Kansas football for the season.
Really?
I might need to check it out and give you a report
Yeah.
back and let you know.
I always thought, because everyone here...
That's your Michigan coach?
Yeah, if you fire Harbaugh. If they fire Harbaugh, I would call Les Miles. I mean, they took Kansas and almost beat Texas, and they're playing everyone tough now. So I don't think he's a bad coach, and he comes from the Michigan lineage.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got some ties.
And so he eats grass, and he's a little loony, but I mean, and Harbaugh's just as loony.
Yeah,
So what the hell?
Say with his Coke bottle glasses. He's got like Joe Pa's old glasses on. It's really weird.
So we're going to look at it till next week. Charles, what do you think, Wisconsin at Ohio State?
I got to tell you, I think that Wisconsin's going to play them tough just based on just trying to save face, but Ohio State's going to stomp them. If this were in Madison, I have a totally different take on it. Problem is, this is in the Horseshoes in Columbus. I like Ohio State by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I like Ohio State by 20.
Yeah.
31-10 comes to mind. Wisconsin doesn't have the
But
dogs
you agree with
them.
me? Take them to Madison.
Yeah, then
I think
Ohio
it's a
State-
different conversation.
Yeah, I think Ohio State still probably win, but it'd be a lot
Yeah.
closer. I think Ohio State's going to fucking mud stomp them.
Yeah.
Now, the one that's going to be up our alley more than anybody else's, Notre Dame at Michigan, 7:30 at night.
ABC primetime game.
I'm calling this right now. This is going to be super close. It shouldn't be.
Real quick, though, back to that Wisconsin game's like a noon kickoff. So be aware of that. That's an early game.
Keep your schedules over. I know Wiggs is not going to the Apple Orchard Saturday.
Yeah, there's no Apple Orchard in the Wiggs' future. Yeah. And then, like I said, this Michigan Notre Dame game is the 7:30 ABC game.
This game, Notre Dame should win by 14. This game, Notre Dame's going to win by 1.
It's going to come down to a 2-point conversion.
Goddamn happens against Michigan.
Dude, it's crazy.
Even vice versa. Like if Michigan came in super ranked, they'd either lose or
Doesn't
almost
matter.
lose.
You throw all rankings, all records out the window.
Yes.
And you wait
which
till
annoys
you
the
see-
piss out of me.
Dude, it's always nail bitey. I hate it.
Notre Dame should just come in and thump them pretty easily, but it's going
This guy's dead right now on the field.
someone on the Bears just died. But yeah, so I like Notre Dame in a very close. I'm going to say 24-21.
Yeah, but
It's
you're
gonna
saying
be real-
on paper Notre Dame should go in there.
Oh yeah, they'll probably
Yeah.
be favored by 14 or 10 or 14.
Take the under or whatever.
And now
yeah.
they got confidence after what they did in Penn State, which is what I didn't want to happen. I wanted to get them thumped and to just have the radio ripping on Harbaugh for a week. And then the other big one, Auburn at LSU. LSU is hot. Their coach who can't talk
Ed
somehow.
Orgeron has got, and I predicted them to be faltering, and I couldn't be more wrong, people.
I don't think the freshman quarterback at Auburn, the Gus Malzahn hot seat's going to heat up a little bit. I think LSU thumps them.
Hey, this is a big deal going into LSU. Tough place to play. To get 100,000 people screaming at you.
I don't know if it's a night game. I
think it's the 3:00 game. I could
well,
be
at least
wrong.
they got that going for them.
Yeah.
But LSU, I think, probably rolls them. And there wasn't really any other upsets. Alabama rolled. Ohio State rolled this past week.
They just kept marching.
Everything kind of went by them. Notre Dame was off. But the big one was Wisconsin losing to Santa Lovey. If anyone gets a chance, and if you haven't seen him, please Google Lovely Smith, Illinois.
Yeah.
That is the biggest, whitest beard I've ever seen.
Steve was showing me. It's pretty gnarly.
He is Black Santa.
It is crazy. I mean, that is pitch white. Dude.
Yeah, there is not a drop of color in that beard. It is pure white. So let's go to rapid fire this week. One of them not on here is obviously Zombieland because I've already seen it. So coming out at the theaters, number 1 this week in the box office, Maleficent with Angelina Jolie. I saw the first one, Did not like it. Thought there
Is
was
this a sequel?
This is a sequel to the first one. Yes.
What was the first one's name?
It was There's a full name to Maleficent for this one. I just didn't put it down.
Oh, okay.
I don't. It's like Maleficent, Queen of the Fairies, or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're just saying another Maleficent movie.
Yeah,
I get you.
it was number one in the box. It made $29 million. The last one made $27 million. They were expecting a lot more than what they got. I just thought there was really big potential in that series when they did the first one, but they kind of made her a good guy instead of like the villain.
Well, she's got a heart of gold.
Yeah. So I didn't like it. I didn't bother to see the second one. I'm a no at the theater for Maleficent.
Didn't see the first one, won't see the second one. I don't care. They do look pretty, though. I do have to say.
I'll catch the second one on the Disney streaming app.
Oh,
I keep seeing
November,
those
what,
Mandalorian
16th? What
12th or something.
Okay.
I keep seeing those Mandalorian previews, man.
You gotta see,
my
man.
Star Wars boner goes right out my pants. It's like, whoa.
Big reviews coming from us, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
They said they were saying the budget. The Disney budgeted $1 billion for all their series
With
on
a
this
B?
thing. With a B, yes.
Wow.
Like each episode of that Star Wars is like $14 million to make.
Jesus.
They were like, we're gonna fry everybody.
Oh, wow.
So the next one out is a horror movie that maybe my daughter would like to see called Countdown. This is an app that tells you when you're gonna die, and when it happens, you die.
You told me this premise.
Oh, it looks terrible. I'm a no on Countdown.
The horror movies, it's always a no from Charles.
Yeah, October is always full of horror movies. The next one, this is like an independent one that our future Batman, Robert Pattinson.
I think he jerks off in this movie.
Yeah, and he has sex with a mermaid or something.
It's kooky. I don't know.
Weird independent movie.
I saw an article. It was like he legit style was like cranking his meat. I was like,
he's a lighthouse keeper or some sort. It's kind of parts of it are in black and white. I saw the trailer. Hell no, I'm a no. I'm not even gonna watch this on DVD.
dude,
I'm a no.
I don't know what kind of rating you get a guy who's really jerking off. I'm a no.
Now this next one's got a weird name. You would think this is like a kids movie. It's called Jojo Rabbit. Here's
Jojo Siwa?
Here's the promise of this. Scarlett Johansson is a mom in World War II. And I think she's Jewish in Nazi Germany, and her son, and she's hiding her son, and the only thing her son gets to talk to is an imaginary friend called Jojo Rabbit. This is a weird concept. I was like, what? So I'm a no on Jojo Rabbit.
I saw the first Peter Rabbit. Is there anything
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, I'm a no. I don't know. That sounds dire. I'm good,
It's
man.
a very unique movie. I don't know if this is her Oscar grab or whatever.
Yeah, whoa.
So on Blu-ray, the new Lion King from Jon Favreau. Again, I'm going to wait for Disney streaming, so I'm a no on Blu-ray.
Yeah, to your point, wait for the stream, but again, it looked beautiful.
And then this is a documentary about David Crosby from David Crosby, Stills and Nash called Remember My Name. Howard Stern's really huge on this. It's
This
the only
is a
reason I picked
dry
it up.
week on this one.
I was like, no for me. I don't like David Crosby.
I don't. He's the guy with the big walrus mustache.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
Like that.
there's a
I'm
big
no,
documentary
yeah,
coming out
No,
from-
thank you.
And this one was on AMC. My wife really liked this
What
show.
is this?
Nosferatu. It has
I was like, no.
that name throws you off, doesn't
What
it?
is this?
Nosferatu. It's got the guy.
Is it Willem Dafoe? Wasn't Nosferatu played by Willem Dafoe?
No,
at
this
one
is
point?
played by the guy who plays Spock, the new Spock. He was in Heroes. I can't think of-
yeah.
Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
He plays like this creepy dude, and he's molesting or abducting children or something.
Okay.
Michelle really liked it. I'm a no. I saw
What
it, but
channel is it on?
It was on AMC.
Oh, okay.
It was like an 8-episode series.
No, never heard of it.
I'm a no on Nosferatu.
I would have to be a what in that scenario,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would be a no probably.
This next one is also, now we're going to streaming. This next one actually was getting a theater release also. It's called The Laundry
They want it
Man.
to be for awards.
Yeah, Antonio Banderas, Meryl Streep. She's like a middle-aged mom that finds out someone's laundering money. That's what it's about. I don't know why they call it The Laundry Mat. I saw that Doubt movie with Meryl Streep, and it had that dude that looked like BV before he died. That movie was terrible. I don't
Philip
see.
Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I don't. And then there was that movie where she was the rocker mom, and I don't want to see anything with Meryl Streep. Into the Woods was terrible.
People love her, man.
I don't give a shit. Her movies are dog shit. I don't want to sit through. I'm a no on The Laundromat.
I'm a what? I didn't know what it was. I don't know.
The next
I don't
one,
know.
I forgot to put the description down. It's called Eli.
Book of Eli with
No,
Denzel Washington.
No, it's I can't remember. I'm a no.
I'm a what?
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
What's up though? And then tonight,
This we gotta have a conversation.
yeah,
about.
and this is also in the notes later. But 9:00 tonight, Watchmen on HBO. I'm a yes.
I'm a
like the
huge
movie.
yes. I need some more HBO in my life. Great shows that they put out originals, and this is if it's going to be gritty and I'm going to see Blue Penis, I am way into it.
Yeah. So the last one is on Amazon. It's called Modern Love. It's a documentary on relationships and stuff like that in today's society. I know. I'm not going to watch that.
You said Amazon, it's a no.
Yeah. And then finally, for some games, I just thought this was funny that they're still making this in 2019.
Wow.
Farming Simulator, and it's coming out for all the major consoles.
Here's the funny part. Why are you simulating it? Go out and farm.
I don't know.
Understand.
I guess you got to raise pigs, and cows, and
Okay.
I'm not a fan of any of those simulator games.
Not either.
So I'm a no on Farming Simulator.
I played, I think, 15 through 17.
Oh,
I
did
skipped
you? Okay.
18. I'm a
I heard they're
no.
like mad. They don't.
Yeah.
They just add like a different colored sheep and stuff.
Yeah, no.
And then this next one is really getting ripped on its graphics. They're saying I've seen comparison videos.
This is the new studio as we discussed.
Yes, this is WWE 2K20. They say that like they had a comparison of The Rock from the PS2 version of The Rock.
What?
And the face in the PS2 version look better than the one in the current one.
Man.
They say the graphics are dog shit for this WWE 2K20.
Wow.
I'm a big fat no, because I still got 2K19 I got for like 20 or $10 last couple of months ago.
I'll be curious to hear your review of it.
I might have to rent it just out of curiosity.
Yeah, please.
And then this next one I will rent. I'm already a yes on the renting but not buying. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I will rent it, crack through the campaign, so I'm a yes on that, Charles.
Looks beautiful. I'd be a yes. Yeah. It looks great.
I was confused that it was just a reboot of the original Modern Warfare, but I guess it's not, but it's the same characters, but it's going to be a new story.
Yeah, because they keep showing like the same guy, Soap and
the other guys. So there you go. A little look at what's coming out this week. Big one, probably Call of Duty is the biggest one.
Probably.
Yeah, Activision stock will go up about 10 points just on that movie, the game alone. So why don't you tell us about punching in the face, Charles?
Yeah, so I changed the MMA news to the pugilism report for this week.
That's true.
So I want to just kind of recap kind of the BKFC or the bare knuckle fighting that we watched yesterday.
And people, if you're not watching this, don't worry, no one else is. I mean, we're watching it.
Well, and again, I love the product. I just have concerns, and that was kind of what I listed here. So obviously, again, more UFC guys fought. Gabriel Gonzaga beat Antonio Silva. Two big dudes fought.
And he got knocked the fuck out.
He got knocked. He got dropped. Me and Steve were kind of entertained by it, but it's just, I don't know. And then Jim Alers beat the Julian Lane guy. Steve hates Julian Lane, but we see him. He's been in about 3 of these pay-per-views at this point. Yeah.
He's like Vin Diesel's retarded little brother.
But so I kind of wrote down some things that are kind of souring me on the product a little bit, and I think Steve's with me on this. Like, first of all, the audio issues. They kept interviewing guys that sounded like they were talking with marbles in their mouth, and then they had a mic that sounds worse than anything we produce, which is crazy because you're making money, but you're not putting it back into the product, or no one's producing it properly.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, let's get some flair going of some sort.
Yeah, and they got rid of Antonio Tarver, and they don't have him anymore.
He probably wanted $20 to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And then and I put it here, they got to distance themselves a little bit from the UFC.
Yeah,
stuff.
the name dropping of UFC every 5 seconds gets a little old.
It's like, okay, man, we get it. Like, you get these fighters that just won't hang it up because that's obviously what they do. But like. You kind of find your own way. You know what I mean? Like you had in the previous ones, you had some guys that truly like to box. There's none of those guys anymore. It's all just like kind of rehashed, like see who we can find out of these random camps to. And then the other thing I put too, I feel like they're stopping them earlier now, and maybe that's my
a water balloon under his head though.
I know. I'm not. There's still some gnarly action which draws me to the product. I'm saying I feel like they're definitely cutting the matches too early. I think they're worried a little more about safety, and they want to make sure these commissions.
They could die in the ring.
I kind of want to watch them die. I'll be honest with you. I'm a barbarian. I want to see that. So we'll see. I don't know. So we got another event coming up November 16th. We got Artem Lowball versus Jason Knight. Again, Artem's the guy who's attached to Conor McGregor versus Jason Knight. The first fight was very good, very entertaining. They beat the piss out of one another. So I'll probably give him $30 to watching it, but I might be getting a little soured on the product. I'll be honest with you. I think Steve's with me on that. It's like its novelty is kind of worn off.
It's like Clash. After a certain point, you're like, why are we sitting here?
Yeah, and like at some point, like it's just they got to differentiate themselves somehow. And I'm not the one to give them all the answers. I'm just telling you what we've had issues with.
Invest in some lights. Invest in some good audio.
The audio thing was driving us bonkers, people. Like, it was just a bad.
Forget traveling all over the country. Do a UFC.
Do
just
it all
stay
in
Vegas
Biloxi,
or whatever.
just make it your home city.
And really do up
find some people that want to box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not all UFC dudes.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, you want a little bit of name recognition, but like
the Chinese guys was a boxer, but they kind of
Dan
blew over
Gwynn
that.
or whatever.
They blew over that super quick.
Yeah.
But if he's UFC, they would have mentioned it 72 times.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. But again, I'm a sucker, so I'll probably get the next one on the 16th because why not? What else am I going to do? And then, so in UFC news, we had that fight and it took place on Friday on ESPN2. And it was actually from Boston, TD Garden Arena. Dominic Reyes KO'd Chris Weidman. It was a pretty good fight. I actually caught the replay of it. It was pretty entertaining. And then the other one, my favorite guy to hate in the UFC, Greg Hardy fought. He got a no contest because he's an idiot.
Wait, what?
Greg Hardy won a decision. He won his decision against Ben Sosoli. And he conveniently got a no contest because the idiot used an inhaler in between rounds.
Who used the inhaler?
Greg Hardy used it.
He won the match but lost because he used the inhaler.
Yeah, so this inhaler has a butyrol in it, which is a banned substance, and it's a whole thing. It's just typical Greg Hardy. Just can't get his shit together. So annoying, whatever. And then the nice part is next Saturday or this Saturday coming up at 8 a.m. because they're in Singapore because it's what the UFC does. On ESPN Plus, Ben Askren gets back into the ring after losing to Jorge Masvidal.
Ben Askren?
Ben Askren. He's a good fight. He was undefeated until his loss to Jorge Masvidal.
Did Jorge Masvidal give him the shocker in the Askren?
No, he left that alone, and he actually whooped him up pretty good. It's kind of good. But he's going to fight this Damian Maia guy. Be interesting to see if he can shake it off and actually kind of rebound from that loss. I always like to see that because sometimes these guys go on these skids and they just can't get their shit together.
Before we go on, tell us about our favorite retarded Irishman.
Yeah, so I put in here the Conor McGregor report because he's got shit going on. He entertains me. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for him. So he's accused for the second time of sexual misconduct in Dublin. I don't know. There's a lot of smoke for no fire.
Yeah, he's
saying.
a retard.
He just can't get his shit together. And then the funny part was he went on Twitter to go after Frankie Edgar.
Who is Frankie Edgar?
He's a respected fighter. You know what I mean? And they agreed to fight. But then Dana White turned and goes, I don't see the point. He basically was like, I'm not making that fight. Like, there's no reason to do it. Like,
neither one of them have a title or anything?
No. And Dana White's like, I can't sell that. Like, no, I'm good. It's just funny. And Conor McGregor came out with like, I'll do it for free, and you can donate my purse to so and so. And Dana White was still like, no, we're good. So I don't know what's going on in the world of Conor McGregor, but anyway, that was the big pugilism report. I don't know about bare knuckle, and there's some UFC stuff still happening, so very entertaining.
Yeah, bare knuckle's got to work on their presentation a little bit.
Let me scroll away here.
So now we're going to the news. There's some tasty tidbits, but first we're going to start with tonight. We talked a little bit in the rapid reviews about it. Tonight is the Watchmen debut at 9 o'clock on HBO.
Yes.
From what I've heard, this takes place 20 years after the Watchmen movie. So.
Okay.
I don't know if
should I rewatch the original Watchmen movie, do you think? Because I'm going to watch this.
All you need to know is Rorschach. Remember him?
Yeah, he's the guy with the changey face thing.
Yeah, he died in the original movie. Spoilers, the movie came out like 7 years ago. Or 10 years ago almost. He died in the original movie, and now
They overpower the blue guy with his dick hanging out. I know that. Like, he is like the end all. He's the only one.
And he's left the world. He lives in Mars or something. I forget what it is. He will not be in this series at all.
Okay, so we got Don Johnson. Regina King is in it.
Yeah. I think most of the show revolves around her. She's a cop that does vigilante stuff at night in her outfit. I think.
Okay.
But there's a cult that follows Rorschach.
He's like a martyr now.
Yeah, so they all wear that mask.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're a good cult or a bad cult. That I don't know.
We'll have to wait for that to unfold.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of the show. And the rest there's really no other cameos from the rest of them in the thing. From what I understand going in, you need to know Rorschach died and he was that vigilante and he came to voice this cult. Don Johnson runs kind of like a crooked police force, and Regina King's doing her own thing as a vigilante. Is what you pretty much need to know.
Does she work for the Don Johnson police force?
That I don't know.
Okay,
I imagine so if she's a cop. So
I'm excited for it. Looks beautiful. We'll see. You know what I mean, like visually and all that kind of stuff. Looks like they got a nice budget and all that kind of stuff.
We'll see how it goes. I was thinking the other day, when does Westworld come back?
I don't watch that show. I don't know.
It's been like a year. It's like when them and Better Call Saul just said, "Hey, peace out, we're done." Some of the timing on some of these streaming cable shows is like, we'll get it when we get to it. Networks could never do that. They would have a heart attack. But
we'll see you in the fall.
Yeah. But these other shows, we work on our schedule. So Charles told me about this earlier in the week. Edward Norton, I don't know what people think about him, but He's definitely
got
a
this
douchey
motherless.
guy.
He's got this motherless Brooklyn movie coming out, which actually looks kind of decent, kind of set in like that Prohibition kind of time and stuff like that.
Who else is in that?
Alec Baldwin's in it.
Bruce Willis in it too.
Yeah,
right?
Bruce Willis
yeah,
is in
I saw
it.
previously.
So they got in front of this guy, and basically people like Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg have not Martin Scorsese because he's with Netflix, but like Steven Spielberg got out in front of this whole Netflix thing, and that's why Laundromat, to your point, is being released in the theater just so they can qualify for some awards. And kind of Steven Spielberg said, like, you shouldn't, it should be Emmy stuff, not Academy Awards, because of the pageantry of the theater. So Edward Norton got out in front of it and goes, basically, people don't go to the theater because the product they give you at the theater is mediocre. And I just don't know if I agree with that. So basically, he's saying they don't use the full projection. They oddly dim it. I don't know, man. This is lost on me. The reason why I don't go to the theater is because it's too goddamn expensive for the crappy movie I'm going to see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, that's my whole take.
If you don't
on
go to
it.
matinees, you're going broke.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, it was just I brought up to Steve earlier in the week because he's a big time moviegoer relative to me anymore, and I just was curious if he thought, and it's a weird take. I don't think I've ever heard that take before.
I don't know what theater he's going to. Maybe they need to turn some lights on.
Well, and again, I talked to you about it too. I think that the theater experience is better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's rewriting history, but like in the 80s and shit, it was like Mud Vision.
Yeah.
Now you go, they got these digital projectors,
and
booming surround sound,
and the
nice comfy seats.
In the 90s, the seats were terrible.
Yeah.
The floors were sticky.
I don't know.
The theaters are 100% better than they were when we were kids.
The assigned seating, me and you were talking about that.
It's so much better. I don't know.
The only thing I would say is it's just like
Price.
it's cost over content. Yeah, and that's kind of my whole thing. It's
like imagine you went to Stuber and you paid $8 a ticket.
Yeah,
to see
you're
it.
a little pissed
Like,
because you're
a
like,
couple of laughs, but I'm down $16.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I don't know, but I just thought it was funny that I brought it up to Steve just because it was, as a kind of a rogue comment that people don't go because the projector's
now
too dim.
today to jump on the Marvel Scorsese conflict. Where he said they're all like theme parks and not real
that's
cinema.
what he said. Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola in an interview, he shit on Marvel too. Said they're despicable and they're just cut and paste the same movie over and over again. Which he's kind of right, but that's beside the point.
I don't know. It just seems
So
like sour grapes on some
Get
level.
off my lawn, old guys.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like that.
And he's been boys with Scorsese
I think
forever.
because, like, if you think about it, like Coppola was during a time when like Rocky movies were existing and all this. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. There's always been like those big tentpole blockbuster movies.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rinse and repeat. Huh? He has 3 Godfathers. He got 3 gangster movies. That's what you made.
I don't know. I love
so much variety there.
The first 2 Godfathers are amazing motion pictures.
Yeah. So there you go. A little look at Edward Norton being a douche. Now, this other one I put on here because of our wives and how much they're into it. They're introducing a Harry Potter fan club type thing. It's a subscription service.
In 2019, a fan club.
You pay, I think it's $75 to $80.
Expensive, right?
Yeah. Before the year, it's $75. It's not a month or anything like that. But
that's $7-8 a month. What is that?
Yeah,
$7?
And you get exclusive collectibles. Well, not.
Sounds like Michelle already signed up.
No, she hasn't. I didn't even tell her about that. Well, actually, I did show her the link, but she didn't. And you get discounts at like Universal Studios, for the Harry Potter stuff. I guess also if you go to London, there's a big Harry Potter thing. You get a discount going there, and then you get for ebooks of all the. It's all you get a ton of Harry Potter crap. Is basically what it is.
It sounds terrible.
$75 a year. Now, from what I understand, Disney has the same thing. It's called the D23 Club or something, where you sign up for this and it gets you discounts and special offers and stuff like that, and you got to pay for it. But so Warner Brothers is pumping this out. They are not going to let that Harry Potter universe die.
No.
They are trying to get every nickel they can out of it, and this just seems like another way for them to milk it.
I don't know. I just don't care about Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I'm reading the books with Lorna. When I read them, I'm not here to sit here and pretend that Star Wars is Shakespeare, because it's definitely not.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is those Harry Potter movies and books are so freaking elementary and cheesy. Like, he learns something early in the book to then use it later in the book every time. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, what is the point of it? Like, but people are making it seem like they're these literary giants, and I'm like, really? It's the same thing over and over again. He gets something earlier in the book, and he'll be using it later. It's like,
the magic cloak that makes him invisible.
Yeah, what is the point of this? I just
it's almost like in a video game where you get the power up and then you got to use it. On
you
that
know
stage.
it. Oh, I can go through that door now.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of this?
I don't get. To be honest, I like, and I know this is sacrilegious for Harry Potter fans. I like the newer movies better than with the adults. And
you talking about the Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah,
stuff?
I like those better than the. And I
you
know
just like Uncle Marvin.
Yeah, well, I do.
Yeah.
Dan Folk. By the way, he is on Walking Dead, and he's lost a lot of weight.
Has he
you see
really?
it? I don't know if you caught him.
He's not
this
Kevin
season.
Smith creepy though, is he?
No, but he's probably down 40 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So he must have took it serious. Like, well, if I'm in the apocalypse, I need to lose. I can't be fat in the apocalypse because the first season he was fat.
Is he in proper Walking Dead or Walking Dead Fear?
Proper Walking Dead. He is. He doesn't have a lot of roles. He's kind of in the background character right now, but he was introduced last season and he was pudgy like he was on the Goldbergs. And then when the first couple episodes of Walking Dead came out,
do they write it into the show about him like not eating and stuff like that, or like having troubles finding food or anything like that?
No, not often.
Are they into that plot line again? Because they
No.
only touched on that plot line once in how many seasons of that show?
Yeah, how far behind? There's 3 communities. And they all have farms now.
I
so
couldn't get through the Negan season. I never saw Negan get
past the
captured.
Negan.
Yeah, I know. It's Whispers. Because they touch on the Whispers where I'm just like, I just don't care. I can't do this anymore.
It's a hard watch, man.
I bailed.
I DVR and I really don't watch it till almost Friday. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta watch
You just
that.
ran
The
out
other
of
one that
shows.
did that to me was The Preacher. I was watching that on AMC, and it's
okay.
like,
That's a comic book show, right?
yeah, it was so terrible. I had 5 episodes left, and the last episode was the
every
series
one of us
finale.
has those shows where you're just like, I recorded, but like, why am I? You know what got bad for me towards the end? I bailed on it. Was Modern Family. I was
Michelle
trying.
keeps recording it, and it's so bad. It's
It's so bad. I can't do it.
I'll be honest. I got 2 shows, and the rest is I watch movies all week. That's why I always said
What are the 2?
Superstore and Goldbergs. After that, I don't give a shit about any show. I
gotta be
watch my
honest
Bad
with you.
Wrestling, and I watch my Walking Dead, but it's like,
That's why I'm so stoked to see if I hope the Watchmen's. I need some more shows.
Yeah,
I was so good at the Righteous Gemstones.
I had the Gemstones, and they were
I had
done.
to bail on Ballers. I couldn't hang.
I gave up on Ballers after season 2.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm like, if I'm just gonna watch Rock drive around talking on a cell phone for 3 years, I'm good.
We get it. You're smooth. All right.
yeah. Got a nice suit on. You got to talk on a
dude.
phone.
No one's gonna argue. Every chick wants to bang you. What else is there?
Yeah, so the Harry Potter fan club.
I don't know how we ended up here.
It may be good if you got a diehard Harry Potter fan in your house, but they're really
Sounds expensive.
They're just milking that last every inch out of it. Now the next thing, Google had a big press conference this week, and the only thing that
A lot of
came out,
products. There was a lot of products.
yeah, and
in
the one thing that came out to me that I kind of liked, and I thought, ooh, I might actually get it, and there's a reason why. Besides Stadia, I'm very interested in Stadia. I just don't want to give them money.
We talked about it. Yeah.
One of us idiots is going to do it. I know that's going to happen.
Full review coming from one of us.
Before
idiots.
the first of the year, one of us idiots will be sitting here with the Stadia thing. Oh, we got to try this. And then
It'd
we'll
be like,
never
it's hot
touch it again.
garbage.
Yeah.
I bought Assassin's Creed for $60 and never touched it again.
Yeah, no. So that's going to happen. I just feel it. But they also got the new phone coming out, more Chromebooks.
Pixel 4.
And I don't really care. I'm not paying $800 for a Google phone. And Chromebooks just run like ass. They're so slow.
I've never used one.
Holly uses one at school all the time. She hates it. She goes, "Oh, it's so slow." So
because they put like a cell phone, like a Snapdragon or something in there. It's like, really, you could put an Intel in this.
It's terrible. So, but they're coming out with their own earbuds, and like Charles said, everyone has earbuds these days.
Microsoft, the Microsoft ones are these big discs almost that went in.
And
the
then,
Alexa
of course, the original
one.
Apple ones. And
I'm
then
getting the Alexa glasses. I told you about
he's
that.
getting glasses. Well, I might get these earbuds for one reason.
What do you got?
You can turn on the Google Translate, and sit like I can go to the gym and sit there with the Arabic in, and it'll translate it for me while people are talking.
So you think you're gonna be a super spy with these?
I just want to hear what these motherfuckers are saying.
Oh, wow.
You sit in that locker room for an hour.
I'll be curious to hear how well it works.
Yeah, it's got my interest because I was looking at
how much are they?
$179. That's right on par. The Apple ones are about, depending on which burn you get, is 200 to 150 to 200. My daughter has a pair.
Do you link them to a phone and then it goes on the internet and that's how it translates? I wonder how fast that works.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's what's got me curious because I always felt if I was ever going to travel overseas, because they have earbuds like this that only do
they just translate.
Yeah, but they're $300. I've seen them. I found the website. I have it booked. So I always thought if I ever do go to Japan or Europe or something. I want these things. But now the Google ones are going to do it.
Does it work in reverse? So if I went to Japan, can I talk into my phone and then show someone my phone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
neat
you
tech.
do that now just with the Google Translate on your phone.
Oh, okay.
With the Google Assistant and that. So that's the only thing that's kind of sticking that out to me. I haven't heard about any of the other earbuds that can do that. This is the first one, and if you read that article,
Neat tech.
I was like, so that's kind of cool. And Holly said you should take it and get your nails done at a Korean nail salon. You want to say it to this fat hairy bastard? That would be kind of funny. So I want to try it. I'll probably wait to catch a sale on it somewhere.
Check a review is what you really need to do. Like someone
very,
who's willing to
very
plunk the
interesting,
$180 down and then go from there.
Yeah, that's definitely so. Now you're telling me AT&T is going to give me a price hike, huh?
Oh, Jesus Christ! It just doesn't.
And
stop,
they took NFL
Steve.
Network away from us.
So this is AT&T now. This is what DirecTV Now became. This is what
So
I
this
have.
isn't the cable. You're getting a price hike on
The streaming service yet again, Steve. I don't know
so this
what
won't
to do
affect me.
here. So yeah, so
all this cord cutting, you're going to end up paying as much as I do.
it's It's death by 1,000 cuts. I don't know what to do. Like they're going to drive everyone to like whatever one the cheapest one is. I don't know. Like Steve, I don't know what to do here, man. Like $15 price hike, dude. We're not even talking like $5-10.
Yeah, that's a lot.
$15.
You know who else keeps hiking theirs up is the PlayStation one. It was 45 originally. Now the base one's 65
for the year of the PlayStation whatever network or whatever. Yeah.
That's for the month. That ain't for the year. Yeah.
Well, you talking? Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the AT&T one. You're talking about PlayStations for a month. What are you talking about?
PlayStation has a TV service.
You're talking about
too.
the TV service?
PlayStation Now or whatever.
Yeah, how
Not
much
now,
is it?
but
I know what you're talking
PlayStation
about.
View.
TV or whatever. Yeah. Well, how much is it?
It's $65 a month for the basic.
It's just what the hell, man. I don't know.
So you add in your internet price, you're at 120 right there before you add in any kind of Apple TV or any other services.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna catch
man.
I'm at 185 right now. Once you get up to 185,
Well,
you
so
might as well get cable, motherfucker.
I'm wondering if they're gonna grandfather my price in. So that's
I'm
the
gonna say
question.
no.
I'm wondering if I'm going to get an email. They'll give me like a month at my old price, and then $15, Steve.
Yeah.
And then I pay the extra $5 to get the HBO tacked onto it. So I pay $55 right now. So my shit will go up to $70
plus the internet,
plus $50 for internet. I'm at $120, dude.
plus taxes and services. You're at 130.
Well, you pay straight up. No, you don't pay anything extra. So, but it's just I'm just saying, like, what the hell?
All that money you're saving about to go out the window.
Yeah, dude, what the hell is going on?
The cheapest one I know right off the top of my head is
YouTube.
It's
Yeah.
$50 a month.
What don't they have there? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's not a lot though, because I looked at it and I was like, because
solid
after
service.
PlayStation went up, I was like, let me look at these other ones, and YouTube is the front runner for me. I don't know what the user interface is, but
I don't know, man. If it's gonna go up 15,
I know Sling's expensive. Everything you add in Sling makes it go up
all
quite
a
a
la
bit.
carte. Yeah.
Sling is very expensive.
The thing that I run into too
Yeah, I paid
is
for Nick Offerman to be a spokesperson.
slingers, man.
Yeah.
I have, so we watch over my antenna and stuff like that. It's great. It's just the cable. I literally only use the DirecTV Now stuff for my cable shows. All my regular tuner stuff, it comes through in my own network. I don't use it for anything other than like cable channels like Bravo and all that kind of stuff. It's like, dude, now you're going to go up $15? I was like, wow, I was really bummed by that.
I'm wondering when the Netflix next price hike is coming. You know that's got to be coming eventually.
I don't know how you could in this environment. With Disney looming, I don't think they would touch it right now. There's no way they could. They hit some crazy milestone with subscribers too. Like
They did put out a list of like their top viewed things. One of the top viewed movies was that Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston movie. That was one of the top ones.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a pure name thing. You know, she broke Instagram. Did you hear
with the friend's picture.
Crazy.
Allegedly, you can look at the picture. It's someone's phone, but it looks like they were doing lines of coke off it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a big thing about that picture.
Dude, that was fucking Kyle Chandler, not Kyle Chandler, freaking Chandler Bing.
Yeah, but allegedly it's just a phone. But
Matthew Perry.
You look at it. So there you go. Now, Charles, you know, we ended here with a couple more things. I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. Always have been.
Shocker.
I always have been. I like him. I like his
want
humor.
him in his skinny nuts. You just want him all
He's
in.
weird or skinny. I'd much prefer him fatter, but I guess he'd be dead if he's fatter. So I've always liked him. I liked his humor. I always thought, his humor kind of meshes with my humor quite a bit, especially with
There's also an age thing there, I think.
yeah,
too. There's a
Mallrats
definite
and
age
Jay
thing.
and Silent Bob Strike Back.
You're
I think
in
are
that
two of the
like
funniest.
you graduated early '90s, kind of that window is exactly Kevin Smith time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of us out there, believe it or not.
Yeah, I agree.
He scared most of us off with some of his bad movies he did in the last 4 or 5
He's got
movies.
a huge following,
But he does have a huge following. So I'm all excited. Jay and Silent Bob reboot's coming out.
Trailer looked funny.
It looked
Trailer
funny.
very
It
good.
looked a lot like it. Just older. Obviously, they're all older. But what are you gonna do? You can't fight age. You can't fight time. So I got my.
It always wins.
I got my internet ready. I'm gonna buy my show tickets for this Sunday. Do you know what they did with this damn movie?
So after I talked to you about it, I looked it up, and it's like 2 random theaters that are really rogue in Michigan, and that's it. Like weird boutique theaters.
Yeah, instead of a full nationwide release, him and Jay are traveling the country. There's 2 things. He's traveling the country. It's by Fathom Events, and you could buy a ticket, meet him and Jay, and then watch the movie. That's like $30 a person. That's one way.
That's
you
not
could see
too
it.
bad. I'm surprised you didn't clock
That's
in
at
for
the
that.
Fillmore. And then the other thing
You
is,
haven't thought about doing that?
No, I don't want to do that. No.
Wow.
I don't want to go to Detroit and see it. You have to go. They're going to be at the Fillmore. I don't want to go. I've been to
That's
the
not the
Fillmore
best
once.
movie theater.
Yeah, I don't want to sit for 2 hours in those fucking chairs. I won't be able to walk when I'm
Yeah.
done. The chairs are terrible at the Fillmore. And then the other one, they only released it on Tuesday and Thursday at certain. Charles was saying
Boutique theaters.
Yeah.
They're not mainstream at
Yeah.
all. Like
And-
the Maple.
and they were
something.
7:00 on a Tuesday or Thursday, and it was $15 a ticket. And that's it. There's no other way you could see this movie. There's no digital. There's no. They don't want my money. This is the dumbest
It's
release.
a weird thing.
I don't know what he's doing with this release. Maybe in next January or February it's going to be released nationwide. I don't know.
Do you think there's like a 6-month delay to it?
don't
I'm with
know.
you when
I think he's
you
just
and I
gonna go
kind of
straight
had a
digital.
conversation about it. There's got to be something to it, like where he's able to like secure more money or more
Yeah,
rights
I
to
think-
it, or
he
something.
did the same thing with that terrible Red State
Hoosiers
movie.
thing.
With Red State movie, there's a Tusk movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And-
You're going deep cut Kevin Smith, and I don't
Yeah.
even know.
Red State was like his horror movie.
What-
I saw it. It's terrible.
Well, hold on a second. What is Steve's top 3 Kevin Smith movies?
Oh, that's easy. Mallrats.
You love Mallrats, number 1.
Yeah, number 1. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Clerks 2.
Clerks 2,
Yeah.
not Clerks, the OG Clerks.
I mean, Clerks all right. I mean, everyone has to have a
Very
starting
student
point.
filmy,
Yeah, but I saw Mallrats before I ever saw Clerks. So once I saw Mallrats, and they were like, "Oh, Clerks kind of like it." Clerks not nearly as funny to me as Mallrats.
So
a
you-
lot of people would argue with you and say Clerks is the
I
best,
getcha, I getcha.
because that.
But you're saying if Clerks is on, or rather if Mallrats is on TV, you stop it and watch it.
oh, all the time. That character he made with Jason Lee, My Name Is Earl.
Yeah.
That he fucking hits it out of the park. That guy's funny. He's rubbing his hand in his fucking ass. He eats chocolate pretzels that high five somebody. I mean, come on, that's funny. The fat guy staring at those 3D signs and they didn't
the
work.
schooner,
Yeah,
yeah.
there is no Easter Bunny. Come on, that movie is a riot. It's got Stan Lee in it. Oh, that
The
movie.
awkward Ben Affleck stuff.
Oh
in
yeah,
it,
yeah. He's trying to hit on the chick and
No,
everything.
it's a funny movie.
It is funny. I'm sorry, and I found Clerks 2 to be funny, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike.
I don't know if I remember Clerks 2 that well. I might have to.
Rosario Dawson was in that one. The guys from the Clerks, now one of them's working at a fast food joint. That's why I kind of related to me there, And then his one derelict buddy's working with him. It's funny. The only bad thing he has a habit of is
The
and I
weed
understand-
stuff.
Well, the weed stuff. But back then he wasn't really into weed, but it was there. He always wants to shoehorn his wife or daughter into everything. And
Harley Quinn or whatever.
yeah, and in Clerks 2, it was all his wife. It was weird because the main character.
Who's his wife? The Chasing Amy chick?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
You remember Jay and Silent Bob reboot or the
I'd
first
have to
Jay and
see
Silent
her.
Bob
I'm
Strike?
sure we have
The
to see
three
her as the
jewel
show.
thieves. One's Eliza Dushku. The other one's the chick from Heroes. The third one that you don't know, that's his wife.
Okay.
She wears the ponytails in it. I mean, she's a good-looking girl, whatever. But it's like Clerks 2, that was the only bummer. You had to deal with her half the time. And from what I understand, Jay and Silent reboot, it's a lot of his daughter too, and it's like she's not.
That's
the
Harley
greatest of-
Quinn, right?
Yeah, she's not the greatest of actors. But I don't know because I'll never see it till it gets released
That's
on
a weird
digital.
release schedule. After
I don't-
talking to you, I was kind of peeping around. Like, this makes no sense. And
So,
yeah,
Red State, Tusk, and Yoga Hosers. That's the other
Yeah,
one.
that's what
Those are his last 3 movies. All dog shit. They're all terrible. Yoga Hosers was kind of a comedy, but it was like this weird. Johnny Depp was in it for some reason. I didn't.
do you
see,
like Dogma?
I thought it was okay. It's got some moments, but not as good as the other three I mentioned. But I like. You know what I really like is that DVD you got me that one year, The Night with Kevin Smith, where he's just up there telling stories about his Hollywood
life,
and stuff.
yeah.
It's fun. The guy has a gift of gab. He's a lot like Bill in that way.
Well,
And he
because you
tells
listen
some
to his
funny-
podcast every.
yeah. Not all of them. There's one called Fat Man Beyond with Mark Bernard. Is this black guy? Is a friend of his. He's a writer. He writes for Castle Rock and stuff. That's all based on nerd culture. He's got another one called Smodcast with this other guy where I don't know what that's based on. It gets kind of boring. I don't watch that one. I did watch Comic Book Man. That was on.
That's
for
a
while.
good show.
That was
a good show.
That was
It's like the Pawn Stars.
It was Pawn
of
Stars
colors,
with comics. I like that a lot. So I don't know, but Kevin Smith.
Is that
I don't know
on
what he's
still?
doing.
Is Comic
No,
Book?
it got canceled.
Oh, that's
Made
a good show. It's
se-
good on Netflix.
Yeah, it had 7 seasons of it.
Was it 7? Wow.
Yeah, it made 7 seasons. I enjoyed it.
It was good.
I thought it was funny.
Because again, that's one of those things where me and you are like, oh yeah,
Yeah, and it was basically fun. Like the one where they had the G.I. Joe flag, the one guy brought it. I was like, the flag, man. So it was pretty good. Anyways.
But weird release schedule. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what the story is behind it. I'm sure there's a money distribution thing there
Yeah.
that's got to be happening.
Well, with his weird, I was going to get to with Red State, Tusk, and Yoga Hoses, the theater, the movie companies didn't want them because they were bad movies. They were like, and we don't want to distribute them. So he did what he's kind of doing now. He went on tour with them throughout Canada and throughout.
So he probably learned from that roadmap, hey, I made a ton of money off these kind of crap movies.
Yeah, and
here's a big movie. I could probably make even more.
Yeah, so what he did, he went on tour with them for about 6-7 months, and then after that, they got released to DVD. So I think this is probably going to be the same deal.
So probably first the
Which is still
spring, end of winter.
I think he would have made more money releasing nationwide. I think more people.
My boss knew about it and stuff like that. So I would say anyone in that 40 to 50 range is going to know this whole you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
he
don't
also
know.
got to know anyone in the 40-50 range. We're lazy. I'm not gonna go
No,
some
yeah.
late night fathom.
I'm shocked
event.
that you don't want to go and shake his hand. His skinny,
I've never
weird, should
been-
be fat hand.
Yeah, I've never been a celebrity whore. You know that.
I know, but
that's more my
it's
wife
neat
than
to
me.
put an eyes on something. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
I mean, you don't going to go up and like gush over him, but at least
Yeah.
be like, oh, I saw that. Trust me, if Arnold's releasing a movie, I'm gonna go check it out.
I mean, if he's at a Comic Con
Admittedly.
with a bunch of other stuff, I'd probably go see him. But to go to the Fillmore in Detroit on a Tuesday at like 7,
I'll
I'm
give
good.
$30. Terminator: Dark Fate. Arnold's there. I'll shake his hand. I'll give that $30. You take my. I'd probably go way above 30. I'll be honest with you.
You're like, how much? 2,000?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. You give me a Rambo movie with Sylvester Stallone, probably gonna get a little high there.
I've just never been a celebrity whore guy.
I'm not saying that, but it's neat to
Yeah,
put eyes
that's
on
true.
things. I don't know.
It'd be weird too. Like you're deflated. You're
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
he doesn't really has like cancer
Dude,
sometimes.
when he's in the front row of the AEW thing, it was awkward.
Yeah, and that's how he looks all the time now. And he
Yeah.
wears that big baggy suit
And
coat.
to your point, I get it. Like, he had a heart attack. It's a big life moment. You know what I mean?
He literally
We're
went
both-
all vegan.
But I mean, we're both trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? It's a problem. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. So,
But you do get awkward.
he gives up all meat, but then he gets heavy in the weeds. So he told this on the podcast. He gets up in the morning, he smokes 2 joints,
Okay.
and then he literally doesn't eat anything until about 1-2 o'clock,
Wow.
and then he eats some kind of vegan meal.
How are like his numbers and stuff? Or is his cholesterol down?
I don't.
He doesn't talk about that.
About that.
Okay.
But the doctor, he always says the doctor's very happy with what he's
Okay,
done.
I'm like, he's
And then
got it.
he'll eat something little at about 7-8 o'clock, and that's it. That's all he eats.
Jesus.
And it's all. And anything he
Plant-based.
eats is plant based and vegan. Vegan, not vegetarian.
yeah,
So there's no
plant-based.
cheese
Yep,
and anything.
yeah.
And he knows out in Hollywood, there's a ton of vegan
Probably
places.
tons of places.
So it's
yeah.
really easy for him to find. I guess there's like these vegan nachos that he's in love with at some
Okay.
restaurant. So and that's literally all he eats. But he's
impressive.
A lot of. But here's the thing: I get super helpful. You're smoking joints every morning. What's your lungs doing? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. There's a weird no one. There's kind of like vape culture for the longest time where no one kind of looked at that as an issue.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean. So I don't know.
And his exercises, there's a mountain, one of those popular mountains. Actually, Kevin Nealon does a podcast.
Yeah, he does a
about it.
hiking thing. It's a
He
pretty
lives-
funny podcast. Actually.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot. He lives by there, so he walks his dogs up that every day.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a little dog named Shecky that sometimes just says, I'm on strike. He quits walking. He has to carry the dog.
Oh, okay.
So-
So he gets a little cardio and weight training. Yeah.
He did a pod when he was doing that Fat Guy Beyond podcast. He's doing it at his house, and the sound was much better like it is here.
Yeah.
Now they do it live from this bar,
It's a little hard to hear.
and it looks
stuff
like the
that.
cantina from Star Wars. So I get the theme because it's a nerd podcast, but I much preferred it when he was at his house.
Just having a little room where I can kind of catch everything a
Yeah,
little better.
yeah. I hate that on the radio. Like if you listen to Dave and Chuck when they go live in Vegas or something, it's like, oh, this drives me nuts.
Ambient noise drives you crazy.
I hate it.
One of the things I hate in the Bombcast is when they get too many people.
Oh yeah,
That also makes it like
too hectic.
Yeah, I can't take it.
Well, this last one is kind of funny. I just the other day I'm at work, and I know your wife's a big coffee drinker. My wife's a big coffee drinker, and Randy, my boss, is a huge coffee drinker.
Now I'm going to pause you for a second. I would almost call Heather a coffee snob. Like she'll drink regularly. So like we ripped on craft beer. Heather grinds beans. Heather, you know what I mean? Like she's tried 1,000 things. She's got her definite ways about her. Is that how Randy is, or he just wants some Folgers every day?
He has his moments. He had this. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's some kind of seed. It's like it says cocoa on it, but it's not cocoa. It's not chocolate.
Like the nibs or something like that.
Yeah. So he was taking spoons of this. It looked like bird seed dropped in his coffee. And when he gets done, he's got all this like grime. I'm like, what the fuck are you
what
drinking?
is that?
It's some kind of health seed.
I was going
he
to
heard
say,
about.
is it doing something for him?
And then he went somewhere up north. And we had a cousin of his. He always got some kind of cousin. And he came back with all these little like rubber containers of all these different kind of coffees. They've been sitting on the counter for about a year now. They've been. But my thing is, he makes this. I don't know what he's doing. He's got this little individual cup making thing, and then he's got the big coffee pot. But he doesn't really use the big coffee pot anymore because Ron's been dead and Dean's not there. So he's the only one drinking coffee. So he makes a big pot.
You're like me. You don't drink hot brewed coffee.
No, if I have a sore throat, I might. But that's
It's very
rare.
rarely.
Yeah. So I'm not going to drink it. So he doesn't want to make a whole pot. And that's another thing with coffee. I don't know how she is, but I can only drink coffee up to like 4 p.m. and then I can't have a coffee after 4.
Heather nightcaps hers. Heather's a little, but she's got like a weird routine.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
All of them. And he's the same way. So I can't drink coffee past 4 p.m. So I don't want to make a pot.
Yeah.
So he makes an individual cup. And I don't know what he does. Does he have tremors? Because he flicks it.
His shit is everywhere.
So he has a cup that he fills in, and then he takes the cup and pours it in his thermos. There's a little insulated cup.
There's a whole thing.
Yeah,
There's a lot of kit.
Yeah. But somehow he gets 3/4 of it all over the counter, and then he just goes and sits down.
Oh, so he doesn't rag wipe that shit
No,
down?
I get up to get some ice. I got an ice maker I have at work. I use for my cup. It's like, what the there's always coffee all over the counter. Drives me bananas.
Yeah.
I don't even
'Cause the
drink
other
coffee,
thing-
and I'm wiping it up.
Coffee grounds, man.
Oh.
Coffee grounds are bad.
Now that's Michelle at home. She's short, and her coffee machine, is this tall. So like once
She's
a week,
leaning
you pull
across.
that coffee machine out. There'll be like,
Shit.
all these fucking coffee grounds.
Oh my god.
It drives me bananas.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I'll tell you this, but I don't know. I guess it's weird because pop doesn't. There's not a home brewed form of pop, really. If that makes sense.
My pop don't make them. I don't pour my pop in a glass and leave chunks of it all over the counter. I've never done that.
There's
That's
a
the
lot
one that.
to coffee, man. There's a whole thing.
Oh yeah, gotta have certain cream. This is my wife. I have to have the French vanilla
Flavored
creamer,
crap,
but then I need the pumpkin spice creamer in the fall. I need. Oh Jesus.
It's huge money because, like, so I was.
It's a whole culture I don't get.
It was I was a whole thing. I was addicted to at Starbucks, those Frappuccinos. Oh my God, they're so goddamn good, Steve. So delicious, but they are terrible for you. Like, and again, trying to be like this conscious of like trying to lose some weight and stuff. You can't touch that shit with a 20-foot pole. I mean, they just put like pure sugar in that shit or
What if
something.
they made squash flavored Captain Frappuccino?
I'm not touching that shit. But yeah, so we learned at home how to do it and all this kind of stuff. But I know firsthand those grounds go everywhere. You're not
Yes.
fighting that shit.
It's so annoying, and it's like they all become blind when it's all over. They just walk.
Still, and I put it in the little note as I was cracking. Smokers are still the filthiest.
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
people.
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, with their cigarette butts and shit.
Well, we got a thing. You're not supposed to smoke in the building at work, and they've moved. So Hair Mechanics had 2 guys that like to smoke a lot, and then when Ron was alive, he smoked a lot. And they have this coffee can outside behind one of the bushes.
Yet assholes could still not put their shit in there.
Yeah, the coffee can had about $20 in it, but then there was still $20 all over the
dude,
place.
just flicking that
Yeah,
shit.
it's just like, oh,
Hate
it's
it.
so annoying.
And I would say, to your point, like coffee drinkers are right up there with some of the filthier people.
Oh,
Yeah.
they just get this amnesia when it's like, do you not see these brown rings all over the counter? How do you not see these?
I don't know. And if you look at coffee too, like someone who has high blood pressure or something like that, some of that coffee is jacked with caffeine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing?
And like you said, you drink a lot of pop, but I don't get pop all over the counter. I mean, occasionally it might break open or something, and I'll wipe it up. I don't know. That's what baffles me. It's like, why am I seeing coffee grounds? Why? Or how about the move where they just leave the spoon that they just stir their coffee around? Whose fucking spoon is this? So annoying.
The other thing I
Drives
run
me
into
mental.
as a maintenance guy and stuff like that, coffee grounds are rough on pipes, man. You don't make sure that shit goes in your trash can.
Oh, okay.
Only rinse out a very minimal amount in your sink, because the problem is, and if you look at when coffee's being made, coffee grounds oddly sink to the bottom. So in your pipes, it literally just finds an elbow and just kind of sinks there.
Oh, it just stays there.
Yeah, and then just over time, it becomes brutal.
And if you had this one, well, probably not because you just have Heather. So when Ron was alive and then Dean was there and he was there, they'd all fight over how many scoops of coffee you put in.
How strong to make it.
Who made this coffee? It's making my hair stand up on edge. Then someone else come in and drink it. This coffee ain't strong enough at all. Oh, my God. There's a whole equation.
Dude, you talk about strength of coffee. Heather has definite opinions on that.
Oh, my God. It's
certain
so funny.
roasts and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Only 3 scoops. No, only 2.5 scoops.
Yeah.
Only 3 1/4
Last
scoops.
time you made it.
Yeah, it was way too strong, man.
That's crazy.
They always, like, his son will come in and visit for a while, and for some reason he always wants to work out of our office, and he'll make a pot of coffee, and Randy will almost gag when he drinks. Oh, my God.
You're killing me.
It smells the same. I don't know, but
I don't know.
it's so funny.
They definitely do have opinions.
There's a whole culture there of coffee, and last week when I was washing the counter full of coffee, I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't even drink this shit.
Is it mostly work, or is it also Michelle at home?
Mostly work. Michelle is a different kind of annoying, because Michelle will sit there and go out loud, not thinking to herself, well, I really want a coffee, but it's 5 o'clock and I won't sleep.
She won't sleep either way.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Deion Cole said, big girls, they got sleep apnea. So now her move is this. She'll put a mug in the microwave it with hot water, and then she has this little fucking watermelon cover thing. So I'll walk out, and the counter will have this fucking mug with this watermelon. I got to switch to teas. So she puts a little tea bag. She's got a whole tea bag collection now. So she drinks, after 4 p.m., it's tea.
There was a while there where, like, I was drinking this green tea stuff all the time, and it was delicious. But, like, coffee and tea, not my thing.
Too much work.
I just like pop. I don't know what to tell
like
you.
tea that's pre-made. I don't want to deal with the fucking bags and all that shit. Yeah. I'm good on that. But that's a whole, my wife, my thing, too, is inside the fridge. She's the only one drinking coffee in the house, but she has to buy the family-sized creamer that's like,
the huge jumbo coffee
gallon of French vanilla. It's like,
it's
why?
all crusty at the top.
And she can't just have the one and then use it all and then
8
go get
flavors.
No, there's 3 flavors.
Cold Stone Creamery one.
There's at least 7 slots in our fridge filled with creamer.
And they don't fit in the door,
And she's the only one drinking it. Why do you have to have so much fucking creamer?
Because you know why? Because coffee tastes like shit. So you need to take coffee and put sweet, tasty things in it. Why don't you drink cocoa? What are you doing?
There's no caffeine in cocoa. Just drink the cocoa. I don't get it either.
And then, like, there's just as many calories in that creamer. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and she don't buy no light, fat-free creamer.
No.
She's
like
it's super thick coming out, you know?
It's fucking fudge.
Yeah, the cup's half coffee, half creamer.
I don't know, man.
You know who else was big on that when he could was our grandfather. He was a big coffee drinker. I think he switched to all black, but he used to have all the creams.
Have you drank black coffee?
Oh, it's gross. I don't know how Dad drinks it.
Dude, that
it's
is
like a mouthful of tar. It's like, I don't know.
There's so many better. It's like when we drink these bourbons and all. There's so many better tasting things in the world. Like, why am I drinking this?
I don't get it either. The black coffee.
What?
Thing?
Like, and especially, okay, so even if you said, like, I needed the pick-me-up, there's 1,000 other caffeine things at this point that taste better. What am I doing?
If I'm going to drink a coffee, like if you're at a restaurant, just a little thing, you peel the little carton, you pour the little
whatever coffee.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be French silk, right? Just or just a shot of milk is fine.
Do you drink coffee like that?
No, just once in a blue moon. Because, like I said, if I have a sore throat, there was a time when I first got diabetes. I was like, well, they told me I couldn't drink any more juice. I was a big juice drinker. I always drank orange juice, apple juice, any kind of fucking juice I get my hands on. So it's
like, it's just like pop without the carbonation.
So I was like, well, all right, well,
but it's natural.
I switched to coffee for like 2 weeks. It didn't last long. It's like, I can't.
God.
I was drinking water. I was like, I'll take a glass of water.
I don't.
Because they don't want you drinking milk either. Because here's a funny thing.
Milk is nothing but sugar.
Yeah.
Fat-free milk is literally sugar.
Yeah, they replaced the fat with sugar. So it's like, I can't drink milk
Because I got yelled at my doctor for. I was like, I only drink skim milk. She goes, that's useless. I'm like, okay, great. How dare you? Yeah, you know what the
you
big thing
can't
I
win.
drink now is I love oat milk.
I just drink a glass of water in the morning. That's what I
Oat
drink.
milk is delicious.
Then by about 10 a.m., I got my double gulp or some kind of Diet Coke sitting next to me. And it's what I'm going to do. So, all right, there's a look at Coffee Life and everything else. And as always, you can catch us on Google Play and Apple iTunes. And you can catch us on fatguyslittlepodcast.com. Now, next week, we're going to have, everyone needs to tune in when we drink
Pickle
our
moonshine.
Pickle moonshine.
That's going to be gross.
I hope it's still there when I go back tomorrow to buy it. So that should be pretty funny. And as always, this is Steve.
Charles.
We'll catch you next time.